Let me get the webcam and all that stuff done right now, real quick. But how y'all doing? Welcome back. Oh my god, dude, what has happened to my webcam? Jesus. Okay, make it a little bit less. Jesus Christ, bro, my webcam is all kinds of messed up. Holy. I guess we'll do this. We'll lower this down a little. We don't have to make it so bright, do we? Nah, not really. We can keep it a little bit less, like, less spotlighty looking. I think that'll be okay. How y'all doing? Welcome back. We got more duels tonight. At least hopefully we do. Let me log in because I haven't even been on the game. I literally went to get breakfast and then I just spent the time reading my book. That's all I've done today, which was fun in its own way. Studio mode, we can disable that. We can go to BAP. I think that's the right scene. I don't remember honestly. We'll try to see if we can get some grips going there, boys. Yeah. I gotta spend a little bit more time on live realms, man. I've been spending too much time on PTR. I've been enjoying the new changes to classes a little much. And I gotta like wean myself off the rogue changes just to get back to like the regular, right? That's what I gotta do. I gotta get back to the regular Because I'm way too enjoying the new stuff way too much. I got music playing in the background with music as well. So let me just move this. Yeah, beautiful. Never good, I think. Anyway, we're almost getting to the August too. Jesus, dude, month is flying. The summer is flying by, isn't it? I feel like my summer started flying by as soon as I started going to the pool regularly, and I'm just like tired every day. Oh, the moth! Yeah, we do have the moth mount. Wait. What? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. The summoning animation is sick. Oh, dude, it moves so weird. Is it me or does it move so weird? It's little legs. It's little legs. Look at it go. I never even knew that that's the kind of animation that it made. I never even knew. Look at that. Oh, that's kind of majestic looking. But when you dismount, there's no dismount animation. I honestly was convinced that we're going to have a dismount animation. Because you have a mount up animation and a dismount. What do I have back there? What is this? Lantern? Just all the lights. Literally all the lights. It cleans itself? Wait. It has a tongue. What in the world? Okay, this thing is kind of adorable. I'm not going to hate it. I don't hate it that much. I hate its amount from the store. I really do hate that, but I don't hate it as much. Molten Core. How you doing, by the way, Shane? Hope you're having a good one. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. I read quite a decent bit of my book. I'm very, very happy. Bro, I've been reading this book. I've been reading volume after volume after volume. I've been reading it non-stop. I don't know how to stop anymore. It's actually been so... I wasn't a big reader prior to this, man. Never really cared that much about reading books, to be honest. Never really been into it at all. I almost started with Harry Potter, but then I don't remember who, but they basically told me Harry Potter is garbage. I should read a real book, and it was like just it was some complicated ass book, and I did not care. I did not care. I never really been big into reading, like, at all. Pragar, привет, готовы. Yo, we need a team. We need a group. Boys. Where's my thing here? We need a group right now. Pronto. Where's Johnny? Where's the regulars, man? Where's Saya? I need the boys. Who do I invite, man? Does the Lara join these? Johnny, hey, those today? Getting groups now. He might be doing other stuff though, honestly. Hey, wanna join 5V5 Duels? I don't remember. I don't even know if Lara joins these on regular. He's doing stuff. Handy on the Warlock. The Warlock debut is happening tonight. One sec. I need bodies. I don't have a single person. Judy. I'll see if we can be down for it. What's up, Andy? How you doing, my guy? What's up, Sebastian? Hope you're having a good one, my man. Yo. What class are you looking good for 3s? Anything new from season 1? For 3s? That's hard to tell, honestly. That's hard to tell. I'm going to be taking a much closer look at some of the different class changes for PvP specifically. But I would be surprised if for some reason preservation wasn't good again. Like, they're making preservation breathing even better, and that's already pretty strong for PvP. But they're making it even stronger. So imagine Flame Shaper with that might be really good. You know, I feel like that could be really nuts because now you can just like echo spam and Verdant Embrace of things. It's going to be kind of nuts because you can echo, embrace, echo, embrace. You can just spam it. Okay. I'll still keep putting a group together. Hey, wanna join Duels? See if you'll be down for it. Ren in Nightowl. Hey, wanna join 5V5 Duels? I'll see if you'll be down for it or not. Pascal? I haven't had Pascal join these in a hot second, man. So I'll see if we can maybe get him in here. Tarzat, I don't remember if he joins these regularly. Hey, wanna join Duels? Question mark. Is Guerrero already in the group? Because I need a whole 4 more people for this group. So there's plenty of spots, plenty of space. I'll convert to raid, so we should be good then. Didn't feel like gear, but still learning. Hey man, you know what I mean? Hey, my brother, sorry I can't man. Oh gee. Okay, so Ren cannot join. I do need to get my chat up and running because otherwise I can't tell who's messaging me at all. Okay, well, we got a couple of tells out, but we'll see if we can get more bodies. I'm trying to see if I can get this group together as fast as possible so that Cracker isn't waiting for too long, if I can help it. But yeah, even if you don't have that much gear, at least like if you have some gear, you should be good mostly. Doing good. I've been leveling Shadow Priest. How you liking it? I actually am kind of excited to play Shadow Priest for second season. Like, I playing him on PTR was really enjoyable, and I think that might be kind of good. Maybe not perfect, but definitely in that kind of good category. Who's that over there? Is that actually Blinktron? Okay, I didn't realize. I thought it was yellow. I knew it was some sort of NPC, but I couldn't quite tell, honestly. Does Danny join these? Hey, wanna join 5V5 Duels? See if he'd be down for it. Johnny said he'd be down, but later, so I need to gather our bodies without him. See if he'd be down for it. MML? I could ask MML, but I'm pretty sure he's doing stuff. I might as well ask, right? I might as well ask. You got a group for duels? See if maybe the special is in or not. 6th, why? Level in a 6 shaman? Yo, I do know somebody that had like 8 paladins. So honestly, I'm not surprised by that. It was actually my twin brother. He played a lot of paladins. He had one for PvE, tanking. He had one for red, one for holy, one for PvP as holy, one for PvP as red. Wouldn't be surprised if he would continue leveling more to have one for PvP as prod. Although the last time he played the game was, I think, before World of General. Can I come with a friend? Sure. Got spots right now. Okay. Especially is in. Druidy's gonna bring a +1, so I'll have like +2. I'll still need 2. There's Johnny. Got a spot? Yes. Let me see if I can get Johnny out of real quick. So Johnny is taking that spot. Druidy got a friend. If you get in, you can just suggest a friend. Let me know when to invite. Because I can get Druidy on +1, and then we still need 1 more. So we still got a spot. Well, let's get an invite then. Pascal is doing stuff, but it looks at things. Paz, I don't think does PvP. At least been a second. Maybe I'll get Tomo Guerreras. Gossagri Monk. Yo, let's see if we're down. Yo, wanna join 5V5 Duels? See if Gossagri wants to get him in here. Having multiple races and grind shuffle. That's that's what a lot of people do. Technically, that is what a lot of people do. Grinding shuffle because like you're just doing games and then your MMR gets really high and you still want to play. You just don't really want to face into like Giga MMR where you're just sweating, bullets for your life the entire time. So I can totally see that. In fact, Tank actually does that pretty regularly, doesn't he? Asking me if he wants. Okay, got spot for 2 right now. Better go quick before we fill him. Yeah. Removes the queue anxiety. Yeah, I can chill. Exactly. I can totally see that. Sometimes you just want to have a quick match. You don't want to be playing ranked all the time. But like, there's no solo shuffle for a quick match in WoW. So you just want to like play the game without like sweating. You just want to like compete. You just want to have fun. You just want to play some arenas without like having to play everybody. Yeah, it's exactly. Maybe they should do like a quick match solo shuffle, so you can just play, get your conquest without like losing or winning rating. You just for conquest grinding. Maybe they should do that. You know what? Another thing would be to do is make it so that it was like maybe change PvP so that you can't really lose rating, kind of like Mythic Plus, right? When you win, you gain points, but when you lose, you like MMR goes down, but like you can still accumulate points. You can just play without like that much stress. Some games you lose, that's fine. Some games you win, great. And as long as you win the majority of them, a huge portion of them, you'll get a lot of points. That could be kind of okay. I could see that maybe be a solution to a degree, but I don't think that works for PvP. I think in PvP you do have to have the whole like risk and reward structure, maybe. Scared arenas, but Blitz? Yeah, arena, Blitz is cool. Blitz is cool. Arenas, I like arenas. I think rogues do well in arenas when players let you crowd control. Like when they don't let you CC, like when the warrior just cleaving and blade storming on your blind target, that's not that fun. But when they actually let you use your crowd control abilities and they're a little bit careful of who to focus on, that's fine. That's fine. Like, as a warrior, please don't go fearing the guy that I'm about to blind. Please don't. Just use fear when the healer needs one on the other DPS. Let me crowd control. Let me do the thing. You see me land a kidney on the healer, stun lock the target that we're trying to kill, and then, you know, hit him with Colossus Bash, hit him with a big demolish. Do some stuff, right? Just watch out. When I go do something, you go do something. I used to play 2v2, they were fun, through a huge mess. 2v2s were really, really fun. I don't think 2v2s are balanced in any way, shape, or form, though. So, if they did a bit more to balance choose, I think that'd be really fun, but who knows, right? Alright, so we're still waiting on Drudy. Let me know, you joining, or should... actually, he might be still in the thing, right? Yeah, I'll just ask him really quick if he's going to be joining in or not. Looks like Rick may join us, but we'll see. Shuffle? Okay, okay. Do your thing. What did Nick say? I'll come invite me. Where are you? Got him. Invite your friend. Or is that him? Or I take... Okay, okay. I take Goeris. He doesn't wanna? That's fine. We take Goeris on. Beautiful. Ready. Ready, my man, Kragar. Alrighty. Lemon roll is gonna be lead, bud. Go. Consider match. Kragar and Johnny Boy. 5 in the grand. 1. Ba-da-pa-pa-pa-da-pa. Ba-da-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. I mean... Yeah, if you want to switch around characters, Judy, you're more than welcome to. Johnny will, like, he'll take care of it. He will let you know, he'll get you in the group, all that jazz. He's really, really amicable for stuff like that. He's really chill about it. Yeah, so if you just let him know, like, he'll do it. He'll do it. Yeah. Switch. Alright, beautiful. I think we are good to go. And we have ourselves a team full of a bunch of melee over on Team Kragar. Him back on that good old orc. We got ourselves this match. We got ourselves Yositsu. Yositsu is an outlaw. Gazeb on the Demon Hunter. You know, I don't see a lot of people wearing like the full Void Elf pieces. And then we got ourselves Tis Fury gonna be up with the Warrior Kragar first versus Rao. The man looking to I was gonna try to use his name as a joke, maybe like Rouse Kragar. Rao's tried to but it doesn't really work. Stonebolt immediately. It looks like Rao trying to get himself a reset is going to be the spear down. Kragar with full burst available, but his health is not looking all that good. Rao with a defensive stance to the bear form. Bartiskin just trying to see if he can waddle out of there. As soon as the feral though shifts into a feral form, into the cat form, you can see his cells starting to actually take a bit of a dent. Lead by Kragar with a charge around. Maim immediately connects. Kragar with a trinket to bust out of that stun. Is it going to be a root around the corner for Rao? Yet another stun by the warrior. Locking down the feral for a second. Bite to follow. Using those bites, not on a root, but on a self heal. So Rao is just looking for survivability. Trying to go for a knock on the Kragar. Unfortunately, no charge was available for the warrior. No leap available. Does have a defensive in case he needs to. Rao, do you have a bleed on you is the question. Because if he has a bleed, he won't be able to catch you easy, quick, clean, re-stealth. He definitely has good bleeds on Kragar. Kragar is really not feeling that great of them. But Rao, I think, is trying to see if he can get himself a clean re-stealth. Has not gone for a prowl yet, and Krager is going to go for a leap as soon as the bleeds fall off of him. Looks like Rao was going to give himself a little bit of a breather. Krager with a random stomp does not connect with the Feral, unfortunately, but it does give him just enough of a break in order to regain health. Roots, and that's going to be the Feral's gameplay here, isn't it? Is going to be possibly a leap around the corner with Krager. Instead, going to go for a mount up. He's got movement speed. Rao trying to see if he can catch himself a reset. Krager with a berserker stance for just a second. Unfortunately, does not catch up to the Feral. Doesn't quite hit him. He's not in prowl, so he is out of stealth for the moment. But it looks like Krager is not far enough away to go for a charge. Unfortunately, Rao does wait out until the stun is back up and available. Catches a re-stealth. Full spear is down, so Krager making sure the Feral has nowhere to go. Feral is staying in cat form. Barkskin is available, trying to use aggressive gameplay here with Incarnation to see if he can take down Krager. Krager fighting through the pain with Enrage Regeneration. Got himself procs of executes on top of it. Knockback by the Feral. Leap by the Warrior. Feral trying to see if he can just waddle out of there. He's taking a decent bit of damage anytime he's not in bear form. Those stomps are still reaching him either way. Short stomp by Krager is going to be able to lock down the Feral for just a few seconds. Re-stomp with a full maim. Rao catching up a lot of healing. Anytime he uses comp points into a finisher, especially at 5 comp points, he can get a huge regrowth. But Krager trying to see if he can fight through it. I do wonder if Krager is playing Slaughter, the PvP talent that does give those Raging Blows, stacking healing reduction. I assume that most warriors are playing it, but I wonder if his strategy in duels in particular changes based on the PvP talents he's picking. I wish I could see the PvP talents he's running with. I think that'd be really cool if Blizzard added like a note, because you can see like their entire kit, right? Defensives and offensives. It'd be nice if you could see like their hero talent somewhere in the circle, and the choice of hero talents are also running on top of it, right? I think that'd be sick. Big bites out for Rao. Does get Krager incredibly low, but the Warrior is still hanging in there, though barely by a thread. Does have a fear in case he needs to. It's going to be a root by the Feral. It's just looking for a full reset. Krager with a leap. Stormbolt around the corner. Feral does burn a tricky just to escape it. Fear is going to be out for the Warrior right after, and Krager does try to see if he can hold the Feral in place for a second. The cat has recovered a lot of health. The Druid is looking incredibly healthy. His fur, his health, his whole entire being is looking real sturdy right now. Krager actually was able to catch up a lot of healing though, so second wind was able to kick in. He's actually just going to root the Feral for a second, but looks like Krager might be DCing himself. That is incredibly unfortunate. Is everything good? He might have DC'd. I don't think the Feral can even reach him either. Or he's waiting. Looks like it is going to be a bit of a resetting. That is unfortunate, as the duel is hitting that 3-4 minute mark. Dampening is going to start rolling in little by little. The Feral at the very least is giving Krager an honorable reset, but he may have to take him out. If Krager is like completely gone, then there might not be much you can do about it. He is giving him a second to catch up though. He is giving him a second to like get back. Although I don't know if he's going to be able to come back. He might already see completely. That is unfortunate if that is the case, because then somebody else is going to have to go next. Yeah, I was going to say, like, can he even hit him? But it looks like he can at least mark him. You know, maybe Krager will return. The Feral did give you a lot of time, however. He did give you quite a decent bit of time. So, unfortunately, Krager is going to have to go. Unfortunately, we do have to keep the show rolling, which is rough. Stunned immediately by Rao as he's hitting the spear from one Fury into the next, with Sis Fury trying to see if he can lock him down. Apparently Sis Fury is not playing Avatar, so then he must be the Bladestorm build, right? But still no Avatar? It's not a choice between Bladestorm and Avatar for Fury, is it? I don't think it is, right? I think all warriors have access to Avatar, or is that actually a choice for Fury? I don't remember anymore. I actually don't remember. Pretty sure it should be Avatar, but he's not running Avatar. It was weird. Maybe there was a trick. Maybe there's a play to it. Maybe it's on purpose like that. I don't really know what Fury builds are looking like right now in this season. I know most of them are Avatar though, but most of them are also the Thunder build. And Sis is actually having to play it a little bit slower. Just bleeding out right now on the arena floor. Unfortunately, not in an amazing spot. He is going to have to do something in order to help catch up to the Feral Druid. But unless he takes more of a proactive action, he's going to go for a leap. There's going to be a couple of Moonfire set after him to make sure he doesn't get a clean recovery with second wind. And Fury needs like a shield or something. He needs a moment where he's not taking a lot of damage, and there goes a little bit of that second wind healing. Is going to be the Pharaoh breaking out of that stun. Is going to go for remain, restun, off of Incarnation, big bites, root to follow, just hoping that the bleeds will be enough. It is in Rage Regeneration Alpha, just Fury barely surviving. One more bite does get him super, super low. Yet another bite. Is that going to be Cheat Death mechanic? I think it is Cheat Death. This is where Rao just needs to escape. Trying to see if he can power shift. He's actually so low. Hold on a second. Is Rao gonna die? The warrior had him on the ropes for a second, but then he does get some recovery. Diving into bear form with Bardic Skin, overlapping with Rage Regeneration. And you know this is gonna be a rogue up next. It's gotta be one of the stealthy at this point. And the rogue Yatatsu is gonna Yatatsu? Okay, I might have a hard time with the name Yachty. All of us will call him Yachty, dude. Trinket into a kick. I don't know if you really need to trinket that. I think that kick might have came up right as he did something. Maim, and now Yatasu does not have a trinket. He's going to go for a feint, try to see if he can get himself as much defense as possible. Grapple hook is available, so staying away from a rogue as a Pharaoh is going to be tough. Cloak shadows for Yatatsu. Try to stay on him. Rao may just die here. Goes barrel form. She got himself a little bit of health to work with in Rage Regeneration, Frenzy Regen, but Kid is shot locking him down. Roll the bones. Decent buffs. Trinket is going to be out of Rao. Blade Rush and does run through him. The Owl of the Rogue trying to see if he can dip out of there. Psychedelic is up next. Yatasu cannot stop this burst. Has to go for blind immediately. But without a pre-feint on a stun, there's nothing he can do about it, unfortunately. It is going to be Demon Hunter. Gazette charging his smoke bomb immediately out for Psychedelic. Ganesha does connect Demon Hunter with a trinket. Goes in for more melee combos. Just see a meta. Blind? Really aggressive use of blind. So now Gazette does not need to worry about the blind anymore. There's still a trinket available for Psychedelic. But Gazette is gonna mount up. He doesn't have a trinket, so Gazette needs to be very, very careful with his go. Unfortunately, it's gonna be immediate stun lock out of Psychedelic. Cloak of Shadows really early here. Backflip out for the Demon Hunter with a bit of a flyby. He's got himself Void Ray. Unfortunately, not really connecting with the Rogue. Is gonna have to go for meta at some point, trying to make sure he puts him back in combat. Getting the shot is going to be really short for Gazette. This is your opportunity. If you're going to have a go, right now will be the time to do it. Big melee combo. Does he catch back up? He needs to get himself just a little bit more damage. He needs to get that haunt around the corner. Can he do it? He's actually going to end up backing up out. I don't really know if that was the right move. Meta, unfortunately, is going to go down. Next kidney shot is going to be deadly. Darkness is going to be helpful. Imprison is going to help, but Rogue did not go for a kidney shot, so he can still land a lockdown on him. Is going to try to see if he can get a big coup de grace. Gouge for a second. Psychedelic with advantage. Try to see if he can play defensively. Looks like maybe he might have messed up. Maybe tried to kidney on a backflip. Psychedelic, unfortunately, something is still dotting him, so he wasn't able to get a full first aid. For Gazef, he was able to get a lot of recovery. The thing for Gazef, however, he might be able to get the opener since he sees exactly what Psychedelic is at. Backflipping. It's going to be a big melee combo just to get another backflip. Another backflip stun from a distance. He has it, right? Cheat Death to follow. He has it. He has it. One more hit. Gazef, that's taken. I think that backflip was actually perfectly timed. I think that's when the Rogue went in for a cheap shot. And that's going to be the hunt out for Gazef. In cap immediately by Lemon is going to be the melee combo for Gazef. That is going to be a full meta available. Predator wake into a full setup. Does Lemon get out of it? Still huge burst. Lemon does survive it. Got burst of his own. Gazef tried to see if he could back away. Void Ray from a distance. That is a karma. Gazef, do you have any more mobility? He needs something, anything. I don't know if he can do much here. Try to see if he can burn through Lemon. Lemon's health is incredibly low. It could be anyone's game, actually. Lemon ends up backing up out of there. Void Ray, but it doesn't quite connect with Lemon. Does Gazef get a setup? Next stun is very, very close. But Monk goes in for mass damage. I feel like maybe Gazef should have waited a little bit until Blur and stun and then locked him down. But I think he got a little bit too aggressive there with Nesmeshka as the last one left. Nesmeshka said, I can... Cracker's group? Okay. Okay, sounds good. Let the team know. So Nesmeshka is going to be taking over Cracker's group because apparently Cracker's internet is a little bit rough today. Into a shield by Nesmeshka, blind. Lemon does have a trinket, does not have a trinket, so actually I think for Nesmeshka, if he plays it very carefully, he should be able to take him out, right? Yeah, just a couple of hits, just a couple of cheap shots. But Handy going to be up next as a Destruction Warlock. It is going to be a choice. I like Destra. It's all about getting those big bolts for him. All about getting those big bolts. That's what he needs. Big bolt setup with a Succubus, couple of Shadow Burns. I don't know, you see... Didn't they make it so that you can no longer play into Rifts? Is Rift just a passive nowadays? It used to be active. And I remember Cryz used to play it a lot. Double gateway immediately for Handy. That's going to be the Succubus with the Cloak of Shadows. Handy with a wall. Willing to use the Succubus in order to peel him. Is going to go for Infernal instead. Try to land a Fear. Maybe could use the Succubus. A-Way Fear could also help out here. He's gonna go for the Void Operational. Needs a heal right now. Doesn't get locked out. He's not in a great spot. Yet another stun by the Rogue. Trying to see if he can dodge it with a Succubus, but that's gonna be, I think, the lockdown that Handy needed. For Handy, this is his first foray on the Warlock, to be fair, so this is going to be some of those first game jitters for certain. It is going to be a full blast out by Goeris. It is going to grip. That's going to back out the open. The side does connect. Activation up for the special, though a lot of the frost damage that Goeris does can bypass quite a bit of it. He is locked down for just a moment. Gouged for a second by the Rogue, gripping him back in there with a blind. Goeris does borrow as much health as he can at 6% dampening. One more side goes through, but apparently it's not enough. The special does dive into a vanish. This is how dots on him. Yep, he does have Frost Fever, so for Goeris, might be able to go for a Death Decay around the corner, denying the Rogue any kind of healing. Is going to try to see if he can get him into combat. IBF to break out of a stun. Nespershka, all he can do is power through the damage. AMS and IBF does make the Death Knight very sturdy. Will Nespershka have enough here? Try to see if he can walk away, but the Death Knight does connect. I using the old lightsabers. I was thinking we're going to use the new ones, man. That looks good either way. They gotta get more lightsabers, man. More colors than it. Nespershka does pick up 2. It was a bit of a fragmented duel. Unfortunately, I feel like Krager might have actually been able to completely run it downtown entirely. Alrighty. We'll see how the other group is doing, though. Because it looks like Krager might be bowing out because of the internet issues. But Nespershka will need to be taking over that group. Let me know if you need help with the group building. Also, Drudy, if you are going to be swapping, just let Lemon know and he'll get you in the group. Sub is just WTF. It's a lot of CC. It's a lot of crowd control. Sub is OP in 1v1. It's insane. Yeah, last week we did see... Who was it? It was an Orc Rogue that has the same log as this Mushcom. I'm bad with names, but... Not Gazef. It was, I forget. I literally forget. But he did basically run a full clean go. Invite. I'll take over. Yeah. I'll try to take over the group and help you guys remake the group. Yeah, pass me lead and I'll take over all of it. Hello, boys. How y'all doing today? Molten Core. Let's see if we can get us as a +1. We got a spot, boys. If y'all want to join, more than welcome to. Group is going to be listed under Molten Core, under 5V5 1v1 DUELS. Yeah. I am here. Chucky? Who is Chucky? It's a Dal. Yeah. It's me. Dal. Your boy. This alt is just for spectating. They're talking in Russian. I don't know if they knew if I could read it or not. I understand it or whatever. But I know what you guys are saying. I know what your boys are saying. Okay, we just need one of us. Just need one more. Who can I invite, man? This Chucky? Who is Chucky even? Still in... I don't even know what he's saying. I don't even know what that is. I'm just not even gonna... Yo. Let's see. We need one more. Does Pascal want to join these? I mean, I guess I could ask him, but he's doing hook points. So he's grinding something. Looks like Rick is also grinding something. Schleppo? Okay, I mean, that works. Schleppo is in. We do have a lot of rogues here, but that's okay. That's okay. Not like rogues are overpowered or anything, right, boys? Right? Yeah, rogues ain't overpowered nothing. You know. Nasmeshka. Did I get that right? We're doing 12 run. Oh, is there a hook point? Is there a hook point? Did I not work? Nasmeshka. Johnny Boy, okay. Nasmeshka, okay. Did I mess up his name? Nah, I did Nasmeshka, which is like baby talk. What happened? He's getting a +1. Giving Lemon a second. Judy's waiting forever to log. Did he? Oh yeah. Yeah, give him a second. Yeah, give him a second. One more Destro, I'm going AF. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, play whatever you like, man. If you want to try all 3 specs tonight, you're more than welcome to. More than welcome to. Yeah, I guess the sub rogue in the open. I think the only thing you can really do realistically is like position your succubus so you could like immediately hit him with the succubus EC to like stop a rogue scope. But it looked like he pressed cloak of shadows pretty aggressively, just so he can keep slamming the damage. I mean, you pressed wall, so I think that was the right move, like in the moment. But from there, like, what else can you do, right? That might be the limitation of it too. As in, like, you literally did everything you could in that situation. It definitely ain't easy. Oh, he's got like an axe in the offhand? I didn't realize you could do that. It's a Kultiran hatchet? Kultiran lumberjack hatchet. Doesn't really look Kultiran, but I guess that works. It's kind of sick, actually. Being an orc and having an axe as a warlock, that's sick. Just picked up playing WoW after a short hiatus. Never played Midnight, so it's time to decide on a main. Yeah, what main are you going to be playing, man? What main are you going to be picking up? My game is lagging on trolling. Can't relog on my druid. Oh. Apparently the druid is having some problems logging in on his druid. Johnny, if somebody else wants in outside of druid, just grab them if druid is having some problems. Because then druid can work on that while we get the games going, yeah? If somebody signs up. Not saying, you know. You're just saying if. Are you gonna be able to join or no? Let me find out what's going on. Yeah? Okay. Or no? Hold on a second. Trying to go in? Okay. Don't main rogue. True. It logs in and then reconnect. Try restarting VNet or something. But it takes a long tell lemon. So you can go on. Got it. Yeah, I let him know. Yeah, you just might need to like close BattleNet entire, like quit out of it completely. See if maybe that is a problem. Maybe there's some kind of like an update you gotta do. Who knows? Not sure yet. We're playing Hunter last. Hunter is a good one. But I've gotten most of my time on the Warrior, Rogue, and Hunter. Figured I'd stick to one I've stuck to the most. Yeah, I feel like a Hunter would be like a pretty good choice. Like if that's what you played forever, it's not terrible right now. It's definitely pretty good. You know, between Beast Mastery, Survival, which is a melee spec, and Marksmanship, they usually have fights that one is really good for. Even Survival is generally not that bad. It's a melee, which is weird because it means like there's only limited spots for melee in a raid, but it's actually not that terrible as a spec. It actually has a really good damage profile, surprisingly. But otherwise, BM and MM are still really good. Like MM with how strong it was for like Paladins and for Crown, excellent spec. In PvP as well, they're kind of squishy, but they have a lot of cooldowns. So as long as you can manage cooldowns and kite, you're good. Because they can do a lot of damage. Like people, like healers like running with a Hunter. Because you just do so much raw damage, you can just hang around. Hey, Dad, what's up, Christmas? How you doing, my boy? Hope you're having a good one. Trying to get the groups back up and running. Waiting for Drudy to get in. Otherwise, if we don't get Drudy, we'll just get the groups up and running either way. Johnny's ready. Okay, we'll just send it. Hook point. Might be. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize Johnny was ready. I did not realize Johnny messaged me. Restart my computer. All right. Yeah, at that point, like if everything is just going wrong, that's a good old fresh boot. Doesn't hurt the case. Midnight Duels, where we're at? Midnight Duels, we were 460, 470? Well, that was 470, I guess. I don't remember what the number was previously. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Switch. Hoping this isn't good deals today. Started out pretty good, except for Krager having a DC, which is unfortunate. Maybe Krager will reconsider and come back at some point, but who knows, honestly. We got ourselves Day Luna as a Boomkin. I like that. I like the Mog too. I like the horns, the antlers. I think more druids need to be running around with that. It's such a good item. It's so good. It's like a random item you pick up from Emergence a lot of all the places from Dragonflight. Got Guerreros, Handy gonna be first up. We got this Lemon on the Monk. I like Lemon switch up on the Monk, by the way. I like that a lot better. The hair, the side swept is so good. And Rao is the Feral Druid. It's going to be Rain of Fire down, but I think Team 1 is still trying to figure out who's going to be up next. It's either going to be Schleppo, one of these sub-rogues. We got ourselves Nosbrashka and Yautsu, which is an outlaw. So at least, actually, we got all three specs. We got the Assassination, we got the Subtlety, and we got the Outlaw. You know what? Normog's going to match their specs too, right? The Outlaw looking all piratey, Assassin looking really fancy with some red blades. And then the Subtlety. It looks so good. Warrior is going to be out first immediately. Mortal Coil reflected back in hand. He does go for a Trinket. Trying to land a Fear reflected, or Fear after that Mortal Coil got reflected. Spear is down. Can't get out of it with Gateway. Don't tell me that's... You can make a Gateway that short? I was thinking for a second, like, there's no way it's that short, right? He barely moved. I don't know what happened. Does get executed, and I think it's going to be down for the count. Unfortunately, that is going to be Handy going down with Rao immediately attacking him. I think that might have been a weird gateway. I think he meant to go super far on the gateway, and when you took it, he didn't even like break his chain from the spear, which is unfortunate. Since Fury unfortunately is taking a lot of bleed damage, man is melting right now, unable to really do much against Feral Bleeds, is at least able to stabilize for a bit behind the pillar, able to go for the Fear before the Feral is able to go for a proper stun on him. I think that might have been complete DR on stun, so for Sis Fury, he was at least able to deny the Feral proper big opener, is able to at least lock him down for a second. The Feral having to play defensively really early. Sis Fury does not, I don't even know what he has defensively. I think that's going to be cheap death mechanic here, so that's going to be down for Sis Fury. Do whatever damage you can. There's only so much you can do. Whatever blast you can do to the Pharaohs, whatever you can, but you're just limited with time. Just limited with time, unfortunately. Gazette is up next. Technically, the Warrior does proc cheat death, as long as you can execute the target of proc cheat death. Or I think maybe any target, as long as you get a kill. Maybe it's on a target that killed you, or any target. You do get some health back. You basically get to come back to life again. But it's like borrowed health, purgatory essentially. Trinket, big burst available for Gazef. Stun, Rao, it's gonna go try to see if he can get out of there. Demon Hunter try to see if he can get ahead of him. Massive burst even through the bear, from able to cut through the tough exterior. Is able to go for big reaps and consumes one more hit. Is all he needs is one more hit. Does he have the mobility? He's literally gonna mount up to catch up to him. I think that was the right move. If you're out of combat, mount up, one more hit is all he needs. One consume. Oh, it does do it. That's where the Pharaoh was just like, okay, maybe a bit of panic, just gotta run. Just gotta run the entire time. Gazef throwing in the glaive, Lemon locking him down, leg sweep, nothing Demon Hunter can do. Maybe Demon Hunter can blade flurry, well, flurry and escape, try to use whatever shields he can to keep himself alive. Might have to go for darkness, big melee combo just to get some escape away from Lemon. Going for another backflip. Doesn't get himself any more defense. He does go for a stun to break apart the Fist of Fury. He is going to try to see if he can get some distance. Maybe Darkness down. Sigil of Misery. Darkness just try to see if he keeps himself alive. He has himself in a decent spot. Lemon could go down here. If Gazef uses abilities correctly, he could possibly take him out here. He has 30 seconds on the stun. Lemon has 19 seconds on his leg sweep. Lemon locking him down with an in-cap. Just needs one big hit. Unfortunately, that was all he needed. Big kick with burst. All he needed. Oh, he did it. When the Smershka looking to lock him down, does go for yet another cheap shot through that Fist of Fury. Is going to go for shield too, just so you can stay in. Disarm for just a second. Lemon has no health whatsoever. Big wind kick does connect with the Smershka, but doesn't put him in danger. Is going to go for a shot him out to try to see if he can get himself a reset. Looks like some kind of a dot was still on the Smershka, so he did put him out of stealth. Lemon does not have a leg sweep, unfortunately. Is going to be a cheap shot. Locked down by a sub-rogue. There's not much you can do to follow. Day Luna is going to be up next. Immediately, the Balance Druid got himself the trees, literally the Lorax style play with the what do you call it? What are you actually? Dryad on the side, blasted out, actually doing decent damage to whoever it hits. Unfortunately, that thing does not have too great of a AI setup. It's not quite as smart as like some of the Death Knight pets. So it, like, if you CC the target, it doesn't know to like keep star surging them. So it's a little bit odd that way. It's a little bit... I do hope they give some better pet control for balance druids that do have to play into the pet build. Even though they're not trying to make the pets a huge portion of the damage, like the Dryad does decent bit, right? The Dryad definitely does do a decent bit. The Smurshka is going to be taking a bit of that dot damage. The trees are adding additional pressure. Cheap shot locking down Luna, who may need to use something here. Does he have enough health to work? Actually does not have enough health. Unfortunately, Smurshka is able to take him out. With Goeros trying to see if he can lock down the rogue with double death indicate, slowing down his movement, putting him back in combat. Try to hit him with a stun with the dragon, but it's not going to happen. The Frostwind's Fury unfortunately doesn't quite connect. The riders are in play, but it looks like the Smurshka is going to be able to go for a full reset here. And the 23% dampening. Outstanding? Who's out here yelling outstanding? Is it this guy? Probably this guy. Who is this guy? Is that supposed to be Brian Halinka? Is that guy supposed to be Halinka? I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm pretty sure the armor, I'm pretty sure it might have been him. Might be him. Big damage. Goeros. Does he have enough health to go for a death pact? SC's health gets incredibly low. Doesn't have anything to heal himself with. And the Smurshka actually has himself a advantage to be able to escape. Looking for a reset. Does he have Frost Fever on him? It looks like he doesn't. So he's able to go for a quick reset. No, he might still be dotted. Cheap shot still available. And I think Goeros, unfortunately, before that cheap shot could even end, he does get enough damage just as a proc. 3 kills for the sub rogue. Is that what the night is going to be? Rogues running around doing stuff? Potentially. Potentially. The Smurshka and Johnny. Let me know when both of you are ready, boys. And it looks like if you guys need a +1, I think Judy's back. What do you say? Just get back. Let me know. Okay. I will let you know when a spot is open. Perfect. Smurshka, ready. John, let me know when you're ready. It looks like John needs one more. A spot is open. Teams. Lemon roll. Johnny's team is in LFG. There we go. So hopefully we can get Judy back in on that team. Midnight Duels 471, I guess. I don't remember what my numbers are supposed to be, but I guess we got 471. There's got to be a way for me to save my recordings without like having a specific number, right? There's got to be a way, man. And not rely on like a number. The shield throws me off because it's so like pixelated in the back. That threw me off a lot. Rest of the mug is pretty good. Yeah, Soup, what's up, Jake? How you doing, my guy? The gateway, no idea what happened. Yeah, I didn't even know you could make the gateway that short. That was weird to me. I never even knew you could do that. Let's do a toll Viron. If we got all these casters, I think they would appreciate an arena with a little bit more space to it, you know? Gazelle, the Balance Druid, anybody that's got a little bit of movement to them, I think they would appreciate it. I like Rogue for PvP, not so much for PV. For PvP, not so much for PvP. As for Honor, always prefer BM. I haven't tried Survival because it felt weird as a melee, but good to know on that spec. Yeah, if you like Rogue, I think you'll be fine with Rogue. Assassination is looking potentially good for the next season. Subtlety is really good for PvP. Rogue is likely going to be kind of good for Mythic Plus, if not best. But it's pretty good. Like right now, Outlaw technically is the better spec that can push high end, although it requires a comp. The other Rogue specs are not terrible. They're just not quite meta. Right now, like Demon Hunter, Evoker, Unholy Death Knight are meta. I am hoping that they make Aug Evoker less mandatory for next season. And I think that could open up an opportunity for Rogues to actually get more play. Because Rogues are like pretty much borderline good. They're just not quite there. The problem is for Rogues that they bring good utility, just not amazing utility compared to some of those other classes for Mythic Plus specifically. But it still could be good. I do think Blizzard should probably reconsider Rogue utility in Mythic Plus. Which it'd be kind of nice if we had something unique. But we kind of just bring like some poisons. That's not really all that unique all the time. Shalepopo. I'm just gonna call it Shalepo, right? I think it would be easier. Blind? Interesting. Cheap shot. Interesting. Dots are in. Kingsbane is in. Lemon is starting to take a bit of damage. Having to go for a big forward brew. Is it going to be a trinket out of Shalepo? Not going to happen. It's going to be a mass burst out of the monk. Is it going to be no, the Fist of Fury? He's got himself evasion, so he can at least dodge out of the Fist of Fury. It's going to go for a vanish with Lemon not burning a trinket here. So I wonder if Shalepo is going to go in for like full dots and Deathmark. Interrupted Lemon? I wonder if that interrupt is actually going to be important. Cloak or Shadows? I feel like you vanished that, right? Oh my goodness. He probably thought, you know what? I got Cloak. Don't have to worry about karma. Touch of Death, unfortunately, is a pure physical damage. It's going to be instant trinket for Lemon. Fist of Fury immediately online to try to lock down the Smurshka. He needs to do everything he can in order to catch up to the Smurshka right now. If you can find them, that'd be great. You can port on top of him. In cap, catches the rogue before you catch a resell. That's huge. Gouge for just a second. He needs to be aware that Kidney Shot is going to be coming next. He needs to have some sort of an answer for it. I don't really know what you can do. Step, Kidney, it's over. Unfortunately, monks do a lot of burst damage, but they do go down in a stun, and the sub rogue is an excellent spec to counter them into a full stun. As this person goes in for a trinket free this, that is unfortunate. Guerrero is switching up the strats. He's not playing the Rider of the Apocalypse, so he needs to set up that big old Reaper's Mark on the Smurshka to then chain a couple of those big obliterates with the Scythe to follow. I think it'll be really, really strong if he can possibly land. He does have a IBF here. Is going to go for an IBF. Needs to land those obliterates. Slow into the rogue, which is huge. Got him some movement. Big Scythe one connects. Does he get a second one? Should be getting a second one, right? Should be getting a second one, I hope. The Smurshka, yeah, it should be giving him a Scythe, though. It should be giving him a Scythe, because that is a Reaper's Mark proccing. He just needs to catch up to the rogue, but unfortunately, he was able to break past his Chain of Ice. Actually, I do wonder how the Smurshka was able to break past Chain of Ice, because it's still slow, lasts for a while. It does get a stun or slow on him immediately, but a full lockdown, Guerrero's not feeling that great out of it. Does still have another Scythe banked up from before. Jetpack used really aggressively here just to give himself a little bit more health to borrow, but his health is still getting depleted little by little, and looks like the coup de grace with the Shadow Blades. The Smurshka didn't even need to lock him down. He just decided to go full damage. Dance, Blades, let's make it happen. Judy is up next. Got a full stun to the Smurshka. All the pets are in, but look at the pets. What are the trees doing? The trees just ran off. That's what I'm saying. Like, they need to have better pet control. Like, the trees are kind of sort of important for damage, but also not really. But also they kind of are, because like the trees should be punching the rogue, but they're just like not interested in it at all. So Judy feels like he just kind of lost a little bit of the damage thanks to Blizz, man. Come on, Blizz. A little bit of healing for Judy. Needs to be very, very careful with the rogue. That's going to be a killer shot from him. Smoke bomb down for just a second. The Smurshka looking to escape. The trees are still in play. Look at him go. The trees are going to get him back into combat. The Smurshka shadow step to a tree. Unfortunately, Cloak of Shadows trying to see if he can make it away to Judy. Judy does not prepare form this, so potentially could take a ton of damage. Gouge for a second. And there goes Bear Form. Got himself a bit of recovery and healing. 12% dampening. Not the worst. The Smurshka still low on health, but he's still got a decent bit of damage. Vanish. Still got a dot burning after him. If Judy is careful, he will see exactly where the Fury of Elune is heading, so he'll know exactly where the rogue is. And Gazephi just taking some unexpected damage from the Dryad. Again, like, they need to do a better job of giving like pet control. I know the pet's like in a normal solo shuffle. It doesn't matter who they attack. As long as they're hitting somebody, it's probably fine, right? It's probably fine. But when they're chasing after a rogue, like, it'd be kind of nice if at least they chase after the rogue a little more fervently. I say that as a rogue main too, right? Oh, man. My boy Kragar never disappoints, ever? Yeah. The only time Kragar is... The only time that happens is if Kragar is literally out of his... out of his control. Like the DC we had earlier. When his internet just does not want to cooperate. And that's just unfortunate just because we don't get to see our boy play as much as we would like. Cyclone is going to be an Smurshka just sitting there. That is on the Shadow Blades too, so for Judy, whatever you recover you can get, the better. Try to land a clone. It doesn't land. The Smurshka expected a clone to land. It didn't. Does go for the knock. Does go for a bit of that range damage. Whatever Instacast you can do from afar, that's going to be helpful. The Smurshka taking a little bit of the chip damage from the Star Surges. And the dot damage is with the pets is starting to kind of ramp up little by little. He does get hit with a slow. But for Druid, he needs to be very, very careful. Baron Form Frenzy region really aggressively is going to go for a stun opener onto the Smurshka. Well done. I think he might need to prepare. No, he just tried to see if he can end it. Star Surge is doing go flying, and he does take out the rogue. That is not an easy duel. Yatsu is going to be up next. Yatsu. I'm going to mess up your name. I might call you Yatsu from time to time, but that's just because your name, for some reason, I'm having a hard time with it. But Yatsu the Outlaw, as long as he can stay on top of Judy and have some kind of a cooldown for the incarnation, he could probably just truck him down. So for Judy, he's gonna have to find a way to keep this Outlaw Rogue at bay at all times. Both of them are in stealth at the very least. Yasutsu, I don't think he can see these like green little... Can he see those green flowers? Actually, I think he can. He's straight up following them. Hold on, Judy, I think you're giving away your position. Do you have some sort of a toy? He's straight up following those things. He's straight up following those things. Once he realizes that those things show the direction where Judy has been, They literally show his trail where he was. I think he will figure it out. Should be able to see the rogue, but the rogue actually looks like completely disguised with the sands of the Toberon arena. Judy able to go for an opener. Again, the trees just for some reason have it out for Gazef. What is happening? Why is that? Hold on a second. The Dryad, dude. The Dryad. There's a fresh rogue out there that's rooted too. That's what's so messed up. Bash today sits as he does go for grapple. He should have a second grapple. Also has a blade rush in case he used to. Does get hit with the disarm pistols, however, not part of his weapon or repertoire. So he's actually immune. Cloak of Shadows, as there's going to be cooldowns on Drudy. Drudy still has a full incarnation, however. So Drudy can still use incarnation once the Cloak of Shadows for Yasuitsu is gone. Trying to go for a cloak. Juked it into a clone. Nothing the rogue can do about it. No trinket available. So for Drudy, if you have full go right now, this could be a perfect opportunity. Does have damage. Full incarn. Yasuitsu can vanish in case he wants to. Grappling out, trying to see if he can escape the Star Surge damage. That is going to be a bunch more pets around the corner. He's trying to see if he can save his vanish for a little later. Just trying to give himself a bit of a breather. And Drudy tried to see if he can get himself a setup. Disarm onto the rogue. Trinket on the blind. Yasuitsu does go for a vanish, trying to see if he can get himself an escape. And is at least able to get out of there for just a second. Is going to be a root. Does Drudy have enough damage? He just needs one more good hit. Got himself the procs he's looking for. Instant cast. I think it's going to be enough. Yeah, unfortunately, since it does go down. So second rogue does go down with Sis Fury up next. Dude, Drudy so far has been able to battle rogues. That is his probably toughest matchup is the rogue. So possibly if he plays it correctly versus the warrior, similar to that of a rogue, keeps him at a distance, he could possibly bring something back here. Like if it was Krager on the other team, Krager has faced Boomkins before. For Krager, he eats chicken for breakfast, right? But for Drudy, I feel like potentially maybe Sis Fury is not quite on the same level as Krager in terms of experience to fighting against druids. So maybe this could be an opportunity for him to get a 3, if not 4. Got himself immediate 3. He's trying to see if he can back up out of the Bardick's going to see he's locked down. He kind of got to keep this Sis Fury guy out in combat with the Dryad if possible. Knocking him back since he can't go anywhere. Charge by Sis Fury, burning through a lot of his mobility really early. Drudy trying to go for a clone, unable to. Full Blaze Storm out of Fury is going to try to see if he can leap out of there. Back into bear form for a second, trying to go for a clone. Juked it with a clone. Is going to be available. Into Reflect maybe? No, it's going to land a clone. Trinket immediately. Tried to CM regrowth, but it's not enough. The Sis Fury just not let him go anywhere. Drudy is in an execute range. I think might just go down. Does he have anything for it? Melted for a second. Maybe a stun. No, it looks like Drudy does go down. Sis Fury instead. I stand corrected. This man have plenty of experience to fight a Boomkin. Plenty of experience. Gotta put respect on this man's name. Never mind. Never mind. That is my fault. My fault. Dude, I am yet to ride in one of these horses. They do look good though. They've really done a good job like making some of the new horse mounts and making it like more animated, more real. Especially because of Monsterful playing this guy doing this stuff and also watching him combat. Yeah, and it's mostly been around these duels for a while too. So not only have we seen him play, we also watched him evolve over time. So it's been really awesome. Handy trying to see if he can get himself a setup versus Sis Fury. Does go for Mortal with the Fury to follow. Got all the pets, everything available. Hunt procking as well. It is going to be short reflect for Sis Fury. I'm not sure reflected much against Handy, but it must have reflected something. Maybe the Hunt. I think it still should give Handy quite a few procs either way though. And Sis Fury is taking a decent bit of damage, but not too much. There goes the Nathreza. Got himself the procs as well. Handy with a stun. Does go for Trinket. Dark Harvest to follow. Handy, are you playing the Soul Harvester build or are you playing the other build? I can't really tell. Sucking BCC for a second. Handy does go for movement. Get himself way out of dodge as fast as possible. I don't know if he's playing with Hellcaller Wither or if he's playing the build with the is it Harvester? It is Harvester, I'm pretty sure. With the big old demonic soul. Yo, Doubt, what's up? I bet you had him, my man. Stun immediately as Sis Fury locking him down yet again. Try to see if he can get the pressure rolling. Handy with the drain life, getting interrupted. All he can do right now is maybe try to move, but unfortunately getting cut down by the Fury Warrior. Is the Fury Warrior going to be able to go 3 in a row here? Cutting down the casters, the anti-caster spec? Potentially. It is going to be a Fury immediately as Astrella is going to go for a Trinket. All Sis Fury got to do is interrupt this. He's got to find a way to interrupt the Ray of Frost as soon as it hits him. But instead, he's trying to see run away. Astrella actually did interrupt their own Ray of Frost. I wonder if it was on purpose or if something happened. Might have been some kind of ability. Unfortunately, it is going to be cheat death. I didn't realize his Fury did proc a cheat death, but it was a lot of bursts out of Astral. Did get interrupted immediately on the Frost. Glacial Spike. Made to go for a block here. That is a ton of damage by Demon, who is not sitting still at all. And as soon as he got meta, melted. But unfortunately, he is still, yeah, he's still out there. Predator to wake. Hold on a second. It is over. He just had to wait. Buy his time. Wild. Judy does pick up 2. So does Smushka. Tasteful also picking up 2. Unfortunately, the prospect was able to take him down. But I'm sure he's going to want to go for a bit of a rematch whenever possible, yeah? Let's get us another one going here, boys. Uno mas. Johnny and Smushka, both let me know if you guys are ready or if you need additional bodies. So 470 something, right? 472, I think. Yeah, beautiful. I'm showing up a friend infamous screenshot of a warlock on Dacia on the whole left side of my screen, covered in demon summons. Someone's like 75%. Someone's I do remember that. I do remember that. Yeah, it was wild. Dacia was a hell of a fight. Johnny, let me know when you're good, and we'll send it. The Smushka is ready on his end. As soon as you let me know, we'll send that again. Watching you since years. Good job. What's up, Cork? Yo, glad, man. Glad to hear it. We do need a +1. Looks like for Team Johnny. They are looking for one more. So if you guys do want to join them, the group is listed under... Oh, it looks like they're redoing the group completely. Yeah, so if you guys do want to join in, you're more than welcome to. Are you going to be shuffling the groups, Johnny? Because you don't necessarily need to shuffle it, man. Unless it's just everybody balanced and then you're just trying to rebuild. I can see if anybody wants to join in. Hey, wanna join 5V5 Duels? See if Bike is down. Roton, Ash. I can see if Ash wants to join in. Okay, I'll let it Bayek know. The group is listed in LFG. So if you guys do want to join, they got a spot. Yo, Lemon, if you do wait, Bayek does want to join. So that could be your last one. Unless you already have enough bodies. But yeah, 72 demons. You think we'll ever... I don't think we'll ever get back to that, will we? It looks like Blizzard is even trying to limit how many pets you summon per class. And even the Death Knight, right? They're limiting how many undeads they can summon. Bayek, whoops. You're good, you're good, you're good. You good, you good, you good. But yeah, I've been seeing Dalaran participate in these duels. I witnessed him in the fights, past expansions, and you fought impeccable with a Blood Elf Rogue. Bro, me playing a Blood Elf Rogue was a while ago, but I do remember that. I do hope that at least got a little better since those days. Invite. Wait, was that not Bayek that got in? They just filled as you wrote me, but they are yeah, so we'll just send it as we have it. We'll do a sort of troll. We're on, what do we do? Dalaran consumers, I guess? Go through all the regular maps. Enigma Blood Mage level 10. I think if you saw the screenshot, I would expect choices look like. I have not been on Discord, so I have not. No, I have not. For the leaders, Nesmashka and Johnny Boy. Alrighty, let's see if we got some groups up and running, boys. Which we got ourselves team 1. We got ourselves the team of Lespershka. On that team we got ourselves Shalepo. We got ourselves Yasitu. I gotta mess up your name, but look at this good mag, dude. They really cooked in the Undermine Goblin raid, and then we're like, all right, let's give out the rogues in general one of the best looking sets we've ever made. One of the sickest looking sets ever. Gazef on this team, as well as Tis Fury as well. Is he actually playing adaptation? That's interesting. So last time he insta trinketed, it wasn't like him actually using it. It was just an insta adapt, huh? Lemon roll might actually be really, really good against Lemon. I don't think Incap would proc adaptation, but leg sweep I think definitely will. So for this Fury, he basically has a complete counter. Yeah, to Lemon, it's going to be immediate stun. Lemon with a trinket, got himself a Fist of Fury, just tried to parry up the damage from Sis Fury, but Sis Fury on his cooldowns, that's where Lemon wants to play it as safe and easy as possible, is going to root him from the disable from a distance. Leg sweep does not get adapted. Oh, Sis Fury. I think it's a Zork racial, isn't it? It shortens that leg sweep short enough where it doesn't count as a 5-second stun anymore. So that's rough. Sis Fury touch of death, it's just dead. Unfortunately, that man just died. Monk was just too much. He's throwing out literally every ability, but he's dead. Cheat Death is going to be ticking out. That is a ton of damage. That is unfortunate. Yeah, being an Auric and against stuns, and you also got yourself adaptation, I imagine that's like an unfortunate combo. Massive burst goes and hits Lemon immediately as Yatsutsu goes in, guns blazing from point blank range, evasion immediately as it's going to be defensive out of Lemon. But I feel like Lemon hanging around with an Outlaw Rogue this close might be a really tough idea. Disarm, but the Rogue still has access to pistols, so you can still do a lot of damage. Between the eyes and pistol shot both come into play. Karma immediately as Lemon's health is immediately low. Yatsutsu could trinket. He's going to go for a cloak. Try to see if he can just fight through the Karma. May need something here. Vanish as he has no health. Pistol shot from far away. No, before he can turn around to shoot, that's going to be Lemon closing the gap into a not a leg sweep, but a rising sun kick. The sun rises on Lemon once again. Holy, when the Smershka immediately just going to lock him down. There's nothing you can do against Sub Rogue, right? In cap, that's what you can do. Gouge, it's over. Damn. Artman, no, it's not Artman. Radimus is back in play. It's going to be a stun by Nesmoshka. Bop by the Paladin. Stun onto the Rogue. Trinket out to follow. Evasion is in play. And it looks like Radimus is not going to jump down to chase after him just yet. He's going to wait. I think Nesmoshka was basically trying to get in a position maybe we could go for a Shadow Step. But you know, the Paladin's not going to run over there. He's just going to do whatever range damage he can. At least Smushki is limiting some of that damage, but still taking a lot of it to the face. Feint for just a second, got himself a shield to try to counter the Shield of Vengeance, which is wild. Coup de grace does get Radimus kind of low. Disarm him for a second. The Smushka may get an escape here. He's kind of running out of options, and Hodge is back up and available. The Smushka seeing a bubble is going to go for a vanish. I'm surprised he doesn't go for a cloak. Does not get to go for a cloak just yet. Radimus does get himself the massive hammer swing, but unfortunately it's not quite enough to get him full and recovered. Blind to follow with a trinket right after. Radimus is in a great spot right now. He does still have... Actually, is he? No mind. Is he? I was going to say he's in a great spot because I thought he still had some kind of immunity, but he's down Bop, Bubble, and a trinket. Maybe lay on hands is all he's got, but if he gets locked down by Nesmoshka with enough burst, with enough fervor, it might be lights. It might be over. Nesmoshka is trying to see if he can escape this for just a second. He knows a Hodge is going to be up next, and that's most likely going to be Wings. Lay on hands before the sun goes through. Is it enough, Nesmoshka? Is this enough? You have a cloak. You could just cloak this. Disarm instead. Try to see if you can limit some of the damage from Paladin. The Paladin can still do a lot of damage even without a weapon in his hands. Shield advantage to follow. Nesmoshka with advantage. Try to see if he can reset it. Could go for a step kick, but I don't think it's going to be a good idea, huh? And I think the hammer shoot... well, now it's going to do damage, right? Yeah, if you're out of stealth, the hammer will connect. But if you're in stealth, I think the hammer actually does nothing to you. But for Radimus, that was his one reset. He doesn't have anything, so it's really down to the Spushka, who does have Shadow Blades back. So I wonder if he's just going to be able to have a full clean go. Gouge to generate the calm points, immediate kill the shot, blades available, massive coup de grace to cut into Radimus' defenses. Wake of Ashes is used and using it more to self-heal himself. The Spushka locking him down and stunned yet again, and that yet another hit does it with Handy as a devastation, or Devourer. What is that devastation? As a Devourer Demon Hunter. Try to see if he can get a charge in. He did get a Void Rush, but he won't be able to go for that melee damage to follow. So you might just have to wait it out a little bit. He is probably going to have to pick up eyes if he wants to find the rogue before he finds him. That may be a good move. But getting the opener on the rogue I think would be fantastic. But he's actually choosing just to sit out, let the rogue come to him. The Spushka at least won't have Shadow Blades. It is still a deadly class to fight against as a Demon Hunter. Very, very deadly. But maybe he might just be able to live it. Trinkets either way. The Spushka is going to try to see if he can escape. Seeing that Trinket. Metamorphosis is in play. Goes in for a Trinket himself. And this way Handy is going to try to see if he can Predator. But I don't even know if Predator connected. I think the Spushka was able to veer behind the pillar fast enough. It's still going to be a decent bit of damage for Handy. Unfortunately, that Void Ray will not be able to hit through the wall. Yet another restun for Despershka as he got himself some cooldowns back in action into an imprison. The Handy does escape it for just a second, trying to go for yet another hunt. Is it going to be available? It might have to find a way. Dude, those Reaps. That Reap almost did him in. Reap consumed, that's all he needs, but Despershka does catch a reset. I don't know if it was meld. I think it might have been a meld. Because otherwise, I feel like he definitely should have been in combat. Handy does go for a pre-heal here, which is going to help him stabilize just a little. Despershka with Shadow Blaze, though, is going to be in total play. Into Handy, full melee damage onto Despershka. Does straight blows with the Rogue. Rogue has evasion and a cloak in case he needs to. First aid will not be able to do it. Reap does connect and does a decent bit of damage. The Rogue, I think, is waiting until the next dance and cheap shots are available. But if Handy lands a stun before it, I think Handy could win this stun. Cheap shot first. I was thinking it was going to be Demon Hunter stun. No, the Rogue does bring it. Oh my god. The game literally came down to who stuns first. And the Rogue, he's the best class for it. Artman is going to be up next. Seeing Artman, it makes me think, is it like Athaman? But like the Athaman that's like into art collections and things? Artman. Wouldn't be surprised if this was Athaman or Noldo. Would not be surprised. Unless Artman is just his name. It's going to be evasion, but the Rogue has nothing left. It is going to be a Paladin with full Dawnlight. Just got full dots and there's not much you can do. Gazef is going to have a hell of a matchup for him as a Demon Hunter versus a Paladin, especially one of the Dawnlight variety. Even after the 3% nerf for PvP, I think he should probably still have enough survivability, though Gazef is able to plink away some damage from him, able to shield out bits of health with his Reaps and Consume stun onto Gazef, choosing whether he uses a trinket or not, chooses not to. So he's going to just have to hold on. Meta is available, instant imprison. He's going to be able to use Predator Wake off of it. Melee combo, but immediate immunity out of Artman. Gazef with a Shadow Meld for a second, but he's going to get caught out. He's going to be able to go for a full melee combo either way, and Artman is going to have to take some of the damage through the face. Reaps and Consumes are going to be huge here. Decent bit of damage, cracking through the defenses of the Shield of Vengeance, and Gazef still has the melee combos to follow, actually. So he can go for the Hunt to reconnect melee setup. A little bit of health shaved off. Does he have the melee combo with a Void Blade? Maybe. Backs up out of there just for a bit of that Void Ray. Is it going to be enough? Drudy, for some reason, he healed himself, but the shadow things, the Void Orbs went flying at Artman? Is that what happened? Okay. Foley is a little buggy, apparently. Foley is a little weird. This way, Artman needs something. Does go for lay on hands, but still, his health is getting obliterated. The man may be looking for a bubble here, actually. If he takes a couple of those Reaps and Consumes, he may just be done for the count. Does he have it? Oh, he spent the global on something else. I think he spent the global on a self-heal, but Gazef does cleave him down. With Judy up next, full dots in play. Gazef could be in a bit of trouble. He needs to do everything he can in order to deal with Judy. Yeah, just avoiding the pets as best as he can. That's all he can do right now. He definitely needs to get stun lock combos onto Judy. And whatever self-healing he can, he's got to play it very, very safe. Judy is a burst spec. He doesn't have too much in terms of sustain damage. He can do some sustain, but not too much. This is where Gazef is going to go for massive shields while he's out next to Judy. Is going to go for a stun, getting a trinket out of Judy. I wonder if Gazef is just going to take his sweet time here just to get a reheal. Is going to go for a bit of a reheal. Try to get kick on a Judy, but looks like he did not connect. And Gazef is in a bit of trouble. Darkness is going to help here a little bit. But he's not in an amazing spot. Unless he can get some more of his reheals, he's going to be in a bit of a weird one. Judy trying to get a stun, but he's going to be able to avoid it. Does get some movement. Gazef is going to need to get meta in order to get some healing as well at some point. He needs to get that combo. Hunt is going to help out. That's going to be a little bit extra leech healing. Got himself a little bit of a health as well. Void Blade yet again, but I think he might just go down. That's a lot of Star Surge damage into a prison onto Judy. Gazef does get himself a little bit more healing. Just a little more health. Just a little more health. Just a little bit. He's still rotting a little. 47% dampening, making it tough for him to get any recovery. First aid, unfortunately, is not going to connect. Sigil Misery, maybe it catches Rudy. He does not stun, and I think it might just be over for Gazef. There's just not a lot of health to work with. Unless he just randomly metas and just starts recovering. Yeah, I feel like if he might have been able to get a meta and then done some melee damage to Judy, I feel like that might have been just enough recovery in order to live. Cloak of Shadows, full dots, Judy. I don't know if there's anything this Boomkin can do in this situation. All the dots of Assassination Rogue, you are just done. The Smurshka does land 3 more kills, however. Well done. Well done. The lockdowns of a sub-rogue is the bread and butter of that spec. Really, really strong. Let's get us another one going. Nesmershka and Johnny, let me know when both of y'all are ready and we'll send another one, yeah? That was pretty good, though. Or so many, what are we, 3? 3, apparently. Ready. All right, let's let me know when you're good. We'll get it going. Oh, I see them now. The specs. Yeah. Crazy. Let me see what they look like actually. Is this all AI art? It might be. Actually, is this AI art? Flesh Weaver, which is caster support. I'm assuming that's like an evoker with spirit. Complexity intermediate. Sanguine. Caster. Stamina and spirit. Oh, there's a guy that sacrifices their health, right? A curse. Utilize the curse form. Oh, essentially to become one of those Ventier gargoyles. Okay. And the turtle is the wolf. Huh. Interesting. So it looks like they combined a bunch of things together, huh? Unique. That's cool. And yeah, it's cool. Is this special ready? Bike, tell me. Oh well. When there is a spot open. Yeah, bike, I'll definitely let you know. It looks like they're good for now, but as soon as I get a spot gun, I'll let you know. That's pretty cool, Jake. What spec do you pick? Do you pick the tank one? Because I saw you running around in a wolf form. But that's pretty sick. Or do you get wolf form kind of like druids get the bear form? Like you get it early. I don't know how any of that works. But that's neat, I guess. I picked all four. Wait, what do you mean you picked all four? You can do all four? Do you not like choose it as a spec? Let me see. Maybe I missed the buttons at the bottom. Oh, choose talents. Ah. Wait, so is Flesh Weaver, is that when it says support? Is it like an evoker, or does that mean support like it's a healer? Might be like evoker, right? Because I don't really know what the icon is supposed to mean. 2 rogues, oh my god, it is a lot of rogues. It is a lot of rogues. Switch. Quite a few rogues, but my boy Cracker ain't here, so we gotta, unless we got a variety, right? We got an assassination, an outlaw, and a subtlety. Although subtlety rogue has definitely been the strongest spec for duels. Yositsu though doesn't sit still though. He goes in. Killing spree in the opener. I haven't seen killing spree fired off in a hot second. He's gonna go for an evasion as Lemon try to see if he can lock him down. That is a trinket out for the rogue. Vanish as well. But he does, after going for a killing spree, I think this is where he needs to get back in there. He needs to get those sinister strikes in because they're going to do big damage. Hell, pistol shots will do big damage because all of them will come with an unseen blade proc. And that's going to be a ton of damage by itself. Like when he goes in for an opener, as he presses buttons, there goes a sinister strike, doing some stuff. Blade rush, pistol shot. Unless he's not running the... Is it Trickster? I assume he was Trickster. He's got to be Trickster because that would be seen coin flip mechanics otherwise, right? Unless... He has to be Trickster, right? He does need a stone onto Lemon if he wants to lock him down. Unfortunately, that is going to be mass damage. Big kick after another kick. I feel like the rogue just thought, you know what? I'll be fine. Cloak of Shadows just to fight through karma, but the physical damage. And the proc of the big kick into the wind kick, I mean, that's just a guillotine. Especially when it slams around your neck. It's over. Lexi by Lemon onto Schlepper, who got a full Kingsbait, but he's just looking to walk away. Let the dots rot. Lemon might just die to the dots. He bleeds alone. Actually, he might just be dead. Hold on a second. Does Lemon die? He does die. Yeah, Schlepper didn't even have to do too much. He just walked in a couple of dots and he walked away. That is assassination rogue for you. If you don't have much health to work with, because the bleeds are going to be able to take you down together with that poison coursing through you. It is going to be rough. Void of Racial has been used. Schlepper should be able to move. Unless he just cannot. It looks like it might have dissipated for some reason. Artman is going to take a decent bit of damage, but he's not really worried too hard. He does have a death mark on him, but he's really just hoping to get that Shield of Edges to pop next to Schlepper, and it is going to be able to accomplish. So Schlepper needs an escape. I don't know what you can do, but unfortunately, I guess maybe the dots, no vanish, no more escapes, and the Pally does take him out with Adlet up next. Does play into adaptation, so he's going to be actually very, very well set up to fight against these paladins. As long as he doesn't have that one talent. No, wait a second. Did he get hot? He got hit by Hodge. Okay, as long as he doesn't have that one talent where he reduces the duration of a stun, he's gonna be okay. That's all he needs, is make sure he doesn't have stun reduction, and then he'll be a-okay. Because this way, he Otherwise, he won't be able to break out from Hodges of adaptation. It'd be just a little too short than 5 seconds. It's going to be full CC lockdown as Adlet wants to rush out as Boom Kid, but he's not allowed to whatsoever. Drudy able to build up lots of resources, full blaster damage out with most likely a bubble procced out for Adlet unless he goes in for Spell Warden. He will need some kind of a button, maybe lay on hands, looking for a self-heal. So it looks like he's going to take any damage potential that Adlet has as a Herald of the Sun, and he's just going to convert it all into self-healing so he can hold on to any of his big forbearance buttons. It does mean his damage on Drudy is very limited. Like, Drudy is looking real healthy right now. Very healthy, more than enough. But Adlet, as long as he gets himself another stun lock with a Wake of Ashes and use offensive damage, he might be able to catch up, but if he uses it on defense, he's definitely going to limit how much pressure he has. He's trying to see if he can get aggressive. Did some for a second. The dot is racked up onto Drudy. So it looks like Adlet is trying to see if he can just commit a lot of that damage. Bear from for a second for Drudy. Bash apparently does not proc adaptation. That clone, however, is going to proc it. I don't know if Drudy meant for a clone to proc it. Maybe he's trying to prime it now so you could use that Cyclone for later. Or he wasn't aware of it and then had to react, one of those two. But either way, he can still utilize the next few Cyclones in order to lock down Adlet, though. Unfortunately, as soon as you ruse the Paladin, the trees, they just run off. I think it's a root, right? It looks like the pets, for some reason, just stop attacking whatever you root. But as a druid, you're just going to root things even if you're trying to kill them, too. So that's awkward. That's weird. Adlet is going to try to see if he can get some kind of a stun lock. Wake of Ashes, is he going to go for self-heal? No, it looks like he's actually going to use some of those Dawn Lights that he's generated to do damage to Drudy, to put pressure onto the Boom Kid. I wonder if that's going to be a Lay on Hands angle or possibly a bubble. Lay on Hands as he trades it to stay aggressive to take down Drudy and does take out a Boomkin. The Paladin did end up committing at least one of those big reset buttons to take out a Boomy, but I think that was the right play. He could have, again, wait for more defensive play, but I think the game would have went into super high dampening and put him in a bad spot. Radimus is up next. Red Pally versus Red Pally. Is he going to try to see if he can spell Blessing a Saint? Both of them are actually popping a Blessing a Saint. First stun is out of Adlet. Radimus does not have a adaptation, so he has plays around a normal trinket. Adlet, however, is going to be able to break out every other stun by Radimus. So Radimus might as well just hodge him early. Might as well put it on cooldown, right? Might as well get it out of the way early. And that's where Radimus is going to go for self-healing himself as well. Just try to see if he can stabilize a little bit. His health, however, is taking hits after hits. And Adlet's health is just a little bit ahead of Radimus, though Radimus does have plenty of tools to work with. Well, Adlet, his tools are more limited. Lay on Hands up really early. Radimus try to see if he can take down Adlet by a few notches. Blind really early. Adlet should have a Hodge. Unfortunately, Radimus will not have a Blessing. A Saint does go for the normal trinket. Hodge and Adlet has to bubble. He has to bubble. So for Radimus, this is huge. Though he may have to bubble himself as well. Does force a bubble at him. This is where Radimus needs to get the win here. Next stun, he's not going to be able to do it because there's going to be adaptation. So he needs to land the kill right here, right now. He doesn't have much of an option. He just has to commit damage, I feel like. He just has to go for it. There's not much of a choice. Unfortunately, though, Radimus cannot catch up to him. And Radimus will not have a Blessing of Saint for the stun. Going for immunity early. I think that may have to be the right play. Try to see if he can rot down Adlet. Adlet, however, will have an immunity. Radimus needs to catch up a little. Stun. Radimus is going to have to use a Hodge of his own. Shield of Vengeance is in play at the very least. Radimus has to Hodge. He has to use it now. One thing Radimus can do, however, is if he can get Adlet low, stun him, Adlet will not be able to break himself out with Spell Warden. The Radimus may just go down here unless he gets a heal. Try to stabilize as best as possible. Will need to use every move in his repertoire in order to keep himself afloat. Himself barely hanging on by a thread. Doesn't go down. Barely still able to stabilize. Wake of Ashes is in play. Needs a Hodge onto Adlet as soon as possible. Adlet is going to be getting a Hodge first, unfortunately. He's going to go in. You got a Hodge insta. Hodge. Radimus does not have an answer. Radimus needs to Hodge immediately and hopefully live. Hopefully barely survive. Hodge goes through. Goes in for a self-heal. Adlet, does he go down? Adlet still has an immunity. Adlet still has immunity, and Radimus trying to buy himself a little bit extra health. But unfortunately, I think he may go down here. Still alive. How are you hanging in? How are you hanging on? He was barely alive, and Adlet does take it. Barely, but he does take it. How was that so crazy close? Why was that so close? Handy! Oh, Handy's being very, very courteous here. Giving him the honorable match, man. Giving him the honorable duel that I don't even know if he should be giving him one, to be honest. Because Atlas still has an immunity. Handy does charge in. Backflips out of it. Does he get another angle for another charge in? Handy needs to be very careful when he uses his trinket. Does get a couple of reaps around the corner. That's going to be huge. Stun right after. That is going to be a Void Ray. So he does find a moment to actually land a good Void Ray there. Should be able to get himself a decent bit of damage, break it through Shield of Vengeance into a full meta. Does he trinket? He does trinket. But he's going to try to see if he can charge in. Does he have the melee damage? Adlet needs an immunity right now. He just needs to use immune. Immune insta. He's going to try to heal. Try to see if he can fight through it. Big melee combo yet again. Adlet still not using immune at all. Still choosing not to use immune. Just letting... He believes in the dull light. He literally believes in the light. Literally is a fervent supporter of the light itself. This man has committed his soul, his life, his entire entity to the light. And blessed by the light, saved by the light. Still does not do the spell warden. Actually, in fact, if he doesn't need a bubble, I guess. I really don't think. But I start out to handy now that he has no answer. This is where Adlet is going to go in for full burst. Backflip out for handy. And Paladin, dude, the fervent Paladin. The Crusader. He is going to need to use immunity here, right? There's no way. Another meta. You just survive it. Big combo for handy. Does he get the angle? He needs the angle for the hunt. If he gets the angle for the hunt, I think he might just take it. Backflip. Almost gets it. He just needs a big shift. He needs to shift around the corner. Imprison for a second. Unfortunately, meta is going to go down. Handy will have to work back all those resources again, if possible. But he might just go down. I feel like this Paladin believed in the light to the bitter end. He got 4. I didn't realize he actually went for 4. That guy was not going to give up that immunity, huh? I like it. I like it. Well done. Well done. Let's get ourselves another one going, boys. Onomas. Both Johnny and the Smushka, let me know when you guys are ready. Or if you need a body, let me know, because Bayek is on standby. He is around. You're down to play. Alrighty. Let me know when you guys are, let me know when you guys are good. Give me level 10s out here. Fucking 17. Kind of miss when Ogrimmar actually had people. 1 min. Okay. Especially needs a second. Johnny, let me know if you need more bodies or if you're good. Damage and healer base support. It's only healing comes from big cooldowns. Oh, wait. So is it a... So Jake, is it like a Shadow Priest where it basically does damage and then it has like moments of like pretty much a vampiric embrace where your damage becomes healing? So is it like a healer? Is it like an augmentation role? Is it just a DPS with some like random healing utility? Is that what it is? Or is it like a pure... Like, I can't really understand it, I guess. But then again, it's a private server, so maybe they have like a very, very specific like design for it. Or what they want for it. Okay. Johnny is going to be remaking the team. Bayek, if you do want to join in, we got a spot. I should message him. Got a spot at the moment. Haven't looked much, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, I was just more wondering if what that whole support DPS thing is. Because I just don't... I guess I have a hard time wrapping my head around it. The constant DPS feels like arcane. Destroying of these massive holes are just fat damage to pop out. But instead of using mana, you're using your own health bar. I do think Blizz at some point should do a spec that uses mana or health bar as a resource. I think that'd be really cool. I think it'd be really hard to do because it's like, well, you basically use that health as a resource for dealing with mechanics defensively, right? But yeah, like, you know, when a raid hits and they have figure out how much damage they want that mechanic to do, and then if you're using your health bar as a resource, well, is it getting hit by that? That'd be a little tough. What they could probably do is have to give them a lot of innate leech. That, or allow them to build up an over healing shield, kind of like Blood Death Knights have with a blood shield, right? So you basically can, certain abilities built up that shield so that you're consuming that instead of your health bar. But once that shield is gone, then your ability to start eating your health bar. So it's about building that shield as a resource and then consuming it. But you could like pre-build that shield for mechanics if you really wanted to. Or you could just be super aggressive and use your health bar, right? So like if you're parsing, you're just using your health the entire time, letting a healer heal you. So that could be kind of fun, but otherwise it would be like a mechanic of you build up a shield and then you're eating that shield for abilities while your health bar is used to take mechanics. Something like that, right? I can see that work. Okay, we got Dalaran. I got a bunch of maps we could do. Yeah, or I guess insane amount of innate leech would do it too. I think that'd be really cool if they did that. I just think it'd be sick. Oh, we do have a bit of variety on Team Nesmeshka. I like it. Adlet, Anjix, Gazep is still in, Rhetoric is in. Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Switch. Got ourselves Adlet or on the team. Look at this guy checking out the team, checking out the competition. Look at our Rhetoric, appreciating the armor. I feel like Rhetoric is the only warrior I know that even wears that emergency set. I do like it though. It makes it like the stone and like really druidic looking things and the massive antlers to it. Looks sick. Gazaf on that team. Also got us Nesmeshka and Anjix back in there. What they kind of blended all together. Huh. My like what? Wait, hold on. Are these walls even walls? What? Okay, the game for some reason let me go through the wall just now. I'm not sure how that happened. Like there, it did that too. I don't know how it happened. Yeah, but we got ourselves Artman, we got a Bayek on this team, we got ourselves Druidi, we got ourselves Leo, going to be first up on the Death Knight this time. I like it. Versus Gazep, Death Knight versus Demon Hunter. Normally, if this was a Havoc Demon Hunter, I think the Havoc Demon Hunter usually wins those, but I guess Devourer. You got two very bursty specs in the game. It's going to be an immediate hunt out of Gazep. Silence right after, although, however, some of his abilities don't count as a spell. They actually are a melee hit, even though they deal pure magic damage, pure cosmic damage. So he's actually not silenced for it. Meta active very early for Gazep. Does go in for the stun. Try to see if he catch up to Leo with a big hunt. Backflipping past him. Backflipping around. IBF out for Leo with a Lich Bone to get himself as much survivability as possible. It's going to go for the death pack really early. Gazep's meta does fall, but it still has those reaps together with consumes. So at least is able to keep the pressure rolling as best as possible. And he's just going to go mount it up. As soon as he's out of combat, he's just going to go mounting up as soon as he can, just to give himself even a smidge of movement speed. So Death Knight does have those Chain of Ice to slow him down in perpetuity. Leo is able to recover quite a decent bit of health though. Without Lichborn, however, he's going to get hit by that Sigil of Misery, and it's going to be another big Void Rush out for Gazep. Using those backflips in order to create moments of immunity, is going to go in for a bit of a Void Ray. Silenced out. Does he have any more meta? Does he have any more melee hits? Got himself shifts, which technically are not a spell, they are a skill, so it's actually cannot get silenced. That is really, really interesting. Does use more shifts in order to establish a little bit of health. Leo is able to hit him with a bit of a burst mechanics, but he's got to wait for 20 seconds until cooldowns are back up and available. If he can do that, then he'll be golden. Gazep trying to catch up with a little bit of healing. Gazep is going to have to find a way to end this duel really early though. Meta is in play. Before Leo can establish any burst of his own, try to see if the melee damage will be enough. AMS for the Death Knight, keeping him alive. Yet another massive Void Ray into a reap, taking him out. That was a fatty crit just now. That must have been. With Artman charging up next, Gazep does have a trinket in case he needs it, so at least he's got something to work with. Hunt is going to connect immediately. Backflip, and Artman tried to go for a Hodge, but he immuned it completely. Backflipping over the Paladin's head is so good as a Demon Hunter. Because Anthony Paladin is not paying attention, he's going to go for a Hodge. Seeing Demon Hunter closing in, he's like, I'm going to hit him with a Hodge. But you already immuned it. You already mid-air with the backflip, and you immuned the big Void Blade. Does come through. Reaps and consumes are also doing decent bit of damage. Shield of Vengeance is going to hold down for Artman for a while. So this is where Gazep, I think, wants to keep his distance as best as possible, using ships in order to give himself a little bit of help. Got another Void Ray. Hodge could be huge for Artman unless Gazep goes for a backflip. Imprisoned before that happens. Got another backflip. Meta could be huge. Into does go for a trinket. Predator's Wake. Nothing can stop the Demon Hunter for a second. Blind. Just stop in place for just a moment. Does Gazep have mobility? Does have movement. Backflip. But unfortunately, flipped behind the pillar. So that Metamorphosis burst, unfortunately, is going to go out of the window. He's still got a setup, though. He still can go on for the Void Blade either way. Reaps and consumes are going to chip away at Artman's health little by little. but a lot of his big burst damage is gone until he can regain that meta. Blessing is saying keep it Artman plenty in combat. The next Hodge could potentially be really good. Gazef may need a backflip for this one. I don't know if he has access to it. It does go in for a jump, but unfortunately it's just not enough. This is going to be Artman able to lock him down for a moment. Finally able to start making some damage that will stick to the Demon Hunter, who is looking for a way out. Blur is active, trying to get himself a little bit of self-heals. That's going to be a big meta backup unavailable. Imprisoned, the Paladin, I don't think he has an answer for this one. Does go for Magic Immunity. Gazef needs to go for a big Void Blade as soon as immunity is gone. Got himself a Void Ray, maybe one more bit of movement. Just needs a Void Blade, real quick Void Blade. Got himself a Void Blade, so Shield of Vengeance is going to be there to give the Pally plenty of save. Still, Reaps and Consumes are doing work. Gazef still lands a Haunt with another backflip, trying to see if he can escape. Hodge is available again for the Paladina, and Gazef unfortunately does not have an answer for this one. There's going to be more damage that Paladin is going to be able to make stick. Gazef looking for whatever recovery he can get. Stun is going to be huge. Sigil of Misery is not going to connect. It was just out of reach. But Artman looks like he wasn't really charging at the Demon Hunter at the time being. He was really just trying to do whatever damage he could from a distance. Gazef able to generate a lot of resources. Big movement skills are used right there. Will not have a stun for Pally for a while. Does get himself a shield ahead of time to catch up a little bit of healing. Got himself yet another Void Ray, but a stun. At least he's got himself a shield to keep himself alive and plenty of self-healing with a blur to give himself that damage reduction. There goes another meta. Artman may need some kind of a skill here in order to work with. It's going to be big Void Blade. Try to see if he can immune any skills ahead of time. He's got himself that bubble, so this is where the Demon Hunter just needs to live for a little bit longer until bubble is gone. 10 seconds until a Hodge is available. Bubble is gone, so potentially the Paladin is exposed. And if Gazef gets himself a couple more Reaps with Consumes, he might be able to make some work off of this. He's got himself a decent bit of damage from afar. Tried to build as many souls as he can from the Paladin. Yet another Hodge. With Artman seeing a trinket out of the Demon Hunter. Gazef, does he have much of an answer here? Goes in for a melt for a second. But I don't think Gazef has too many options right now. He could weave in and do some damage, but he doesn't have too much in terms of self-healing. So this damage from Paladin is really going to burn into him for quite a while. Gazef with an Imprison. Pally does go for a bit of the Blessing of Sync to try to reduce the CC. Gazef does have a blur backup unavailable. He needs a heal. Does have the heal. Does have the blur. The Haunt is going to help connect. Stun is available. Artman has a stun of his own. Does need to land up a Hodge at a good time. Next Hodge could be the winner. It's going to be a Hodge by Artman. Full wake of matches. Gazef, do you have meta? If you have meta with a stun, this could be the play. Stun, melee combo. Do you have meta? Do you have enough? Lay on hands. If you have meta, you might be able to make some work here. Only with meta and the meta leech healing, you might be able to come out alive. But you need to use it right now. He doesn't look like he have it. It doesn't. No, he does. Is this enough though? It is enough. Maybe. Does get a big shield of Vengeance, but the Pally with the shield of Vengeance and the Blade of Justice does do just enough damage. That was rough. That was so close. That shield of Vengeance came up right at the perfect time. Adlet is going to be up next immediately. Adaptation breaking out of the Hodge from Artman, able to bypass it super easily. Artman doesn't have much left anymore. He literally had to use everything to fight the Demon Hunter. So Adelaide just needs to push the offensive, and Artman's health just is not able to endure at all. Barely. Okay, it's able to endure a little. Okay, it's able to endure a decent bit. Actually, you know what? He is enduring just fine. Maybe he'll be just okay. You know what? Maybe I had it wrong. Maybe I forgot. Paladins are just absolutely plain retribution. They might as well also be holy while they're at it. You know what I mean? 2 specs in 1. You know, it's a 2-for-1 deal. Like, seriously. He's just living. 30% dampening? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Not really worried about it. Does go down, unfortunately. I was thinking for a second, like, there's no shot, right? Handy, try to see if he can get himself some sort of a setup into immediate damage onto Adlet. We'll need to get some kind of a CC on him. He needs to be aware of the adaptation, which is going to break him out of that fear. Is going to go for the AoE fear. I was surprised he didn't go for the Succubus there. But he's going to be able to go for Immolate. Chaos Bolt is going to be able to connect and separate damage to follow. It's going to be kind of nice. Does go for the Gateway really, really early. Infernal slamming down as the Paladin got himself some more movement. Chaos Bolt. As Andy is trying to get himself some sort of a setup. He's going to have to do something. He is going to be an interrupt out of Adlet that did not connect, however. So for Handy, maybe a couple more bolts and he might be able to get a setup. Is Handy playing the, is he, are you Diabolus? Are you Hellcaller? I can't even tell, honestly. It's got to be Diabolus, right? Although I'm wondering where his, like, extra demons that he's supposed to summon. The Overlord, the Chaos Mother, the, Pit Lord. Yeah, wait, is his hero talents even enabled? Not worried. Oh wait, no, they are. They are. There's a Chaos Mother. I don't know what happened to the Overlord, but the Chaos Mother is definitely there. Handy, unfortunately, stuck with no health, and it's going to be Adlet. Even though he's so separated from his body, reducing his damage and healing, he's able to take him down. I think, honestly, there was a bug with the handy setup. I think I would have been able to see the Overlord, but I didn't see him once. Stunned immediately onto Bayek. Unfortunately, Bayek... Wait, no, Bayek is the one landing a stun. Never mind. Does Bayek play that one talent to reduce the stun duration, though? Allied having to use immunity really early here. He still has a lay on hands, I believe. So he's using immunity and might have to rotate into a bubble pretty quickly here. Bayek does adapt the stun out of Adler. Try to see if he can get some pressure on him without breaking the shield next to him. If Bayek has any damage that follows up right now, this would be the best time to get up in melee, and that's exactly what he's doing. Try to see if he can push over a couple of those procs for his Bladed Justice to get himself additional damage. And Adler trying to see if he can back up out of it, keeping the Dawnlet rolling on him. Try to use whatever mobility he can to try to stay away from Bayek to recover whatever health he can. There goes the Lay on Hands, so he actually did wait long enough for Lay on Hands to come back. Bayek using the Spell Ward instead here, so this is an opportunity for him to make that immunity work. And both Paladins have access to a bubble here. So now the question is going to be, who's going to bubble first? Bayek does not have adaptation for the sword, but Blessing is saying does let him counter the Hodge from Adlet. Adlet also going for a Blessing of Saint as well. Bayek though delaying his Hodge, so he knows he can make some kind of a play here. As soon as he catches up on him, Big Wake of Ashes should be able to make some damage happen. Does Bayek go all offense to try to see if he can bait a bubble out of Adlet or force a bubble out of him? Lay on hands out for Bayek, and Adlet did not get a chance to bubble, so it looks like he was spending his global doing something else. Unfortunately, does go down, with Anjix going to be up next. The Feral Druid Terror is back in play. One demon spawned, what the hell? Yeah, I saw for you Chaos Mother spawn in, but I didn't see the Overlord spawn in. The big one with the axe. That dude usually does a decent bit of damage. I did see Chaos Mother. I didn't see that guy though. So I wonder what happened. It is going to be Wake of Ashes out for Bayek though, able to get a stun to Anjix. Anjix is playing the game into a higher dampening. We are 53% healing reduction, 10 minutes into the game. Blind out for Anjix for just a second, as he does get out of it pretty quickly. Stun onto Bayek, maim off of that stun to make sure that the adaptation never procs from Bayek. Anjix with a bit of a shield to get himself a bit stabilized. Try to see if he can force a bubble out of Bayek. Does force a bubble, and Anjix just uses everything he can to survive here. But the Pally does not want to give him out of his sight at all. He is literally using every bit of mobility to stay on him, so Anjix does not sit still to land himself a bunch of regrowths. It is going to be Cyclone that will break out of the but the route to follow stops him in place. Bayek using his Wake of Ashes just to catch up as much healing as he can. Literally says down to drink mana. This man is trying to play it very proactive. He's got a self-healing, and he's going to utilize mana to try to live this as best as possible as we're getting into super higher healing reductions. Maim off of that stun. Bayek cannot escape it. And that's going to be Anjix. Load him up full of dots, looking for a bit of an escape. Regrows to keep himself alive here. Bayek does not go for an interrupt. Unfortunately, Rebuke just wasn't able to connect. And for Anjix right now, he just needs to maintain the bleeds onto Bayek. It'll be okay. Bariskin to make sure he's extra safe. Bayek is going to use a little bit of his damage or Dawnlight to do damage to Anjix, but he's also going to try to stabilize as well. Though without a Shield of Vengeance, I don't really know what much he can do. Anjix looks like he's going for the Jugular, Wall, Bariskin, everything committed for all-out damage to make sure that Bayek does not survive it, and just try to see if he can escape it. Druid looking to recover, catch up after him. Balance Druid hoping to potentially finish him off. Main for a second as Anjix going in for a Cyclone. Druid already used a Trinket, so there's nothing the Boomkin can do. All Anjix can do right now is try to see if he can evade the other pets, try to find a spot in his cubby, and go for regrow spam as much as possible. His regrows, however, will be decent, though Anjix does get caught out with the bash right after. Druid with yet another incarnation, there's nothing he can do. It catches him with no help whatsoever. The Smershka is going to be up next. Drudy has beaten the Smershka once. Not easy, but he has beaten him. Although in a smaller arena like this may be a lot harder. Maybe a lot tougher of a match. Knocked back by Drudy, but unfortunately was already root onto the Smershka, who still has a Cloak of Shadow, so if he's ever in trouble, he's just going to cloak it. But Drudy, does juke it with a Cyclone. Does go for regrows, but his regrows, unfortunately, compared to a Feral Druid, are not as strong. Unfortunately, they're not as good, and I feel like with that lockdown, that's where the Smershka takes it. Yeah, that's where he takes it. That's so rough, man. That's so rough. The Paladins, man, they're running amok here. Got us another one going. Nasmershka and Johnny, let me know when you guys are both ready. I will send it. That was beautiful. Fantastic games tonight, man. Fantastic matches. Really enjoying these. Beautiful. Are we ready? Oh shit, okay. Fog. Alrighty, both ready? Ready. Beautiful. Have we done Rook? We haven't done Rook. We'll send you guys into Black Rook Hold. We still got Tiger's Peak, and we can go back to all the other ones as well. Hey Dal, what's up? Hey, how you doing, my man? You're doing good. Okay, some of the support specs were modeled around AUG, and some of them were just modeled around niche situations. How niche are we talking? Actually, how niche are we talking? Okay, Black Rook Hold for some reason did not work, so I'm gonna try it again. We'll try it one more time, unless Black Rook Hold is bugged, which it might be. Okay, Black Rook Hold might be bugged. We'll try Tigers, I guess? Or maybe something's happening on the other teams and I just gotta give it a second. Black Rook Hold is bugged. Okay. Black Rook Hold is full, apparently. Bounce looks fun without the Boomkin form? Bro, I feel like a lot of people say that. Like, the best part about Boomkin... Bro, even Boomkins... Not a lot of Boomkins run around in that Boomkin form, dude. The chicken form is so iconic to that spec, but nobody uses it. I mean, neither do I, but at some point I played Druid, and at some point I actually played quite a bit of Boomkin. I used to like it. It was Miss Pandaria, although I didn't like Incarnation. I didn't like the button in general. But Boomkin form I always thought was kind of like funny. It was fun to PvP as that Boomkin form. Because like, imagine you're just killing somebody while you're just a big old chicken. It is the funniest thing in the world. Because when you died, you're like, well, I died because I'm a chicken. So you're like, you have an excuse, right? Ah, man, I was slow. All this blubber and fat and feathers got in the way. Ah, nothing I can do about it, boys. But when they died to a chicken, I'm just like, oh, that gotta be embarrassing, dude. You died to a bird. It was so funny. It was so funny in my head. But I have a bad sense of humor, to be honest. But then they added Incarn, and I was like, I don't like this anymore. And then Dal the Rogue was born. Oh, I guess it was always around for a while. It was a joke character that I made a while ago. But yeah, Dal the Rogue would not have existed if it wasn't Ares' the Boomkin. If it wasn't for that character existing, and then Blizzard ruining it in Miss Pandaria, I probably wouldn't have started playing Rogue by then. You know, thank God Blizzard added Incarnation. It was not fun. I did not like having to press a button and it cost a whole entire global, because it was like, all right, add a Prowlful, our cat form in Prowl, first Boomkin form, then Incarnation. Now I can do damage. But by the time I did stuff, I'm like, I'm stunned. So this was not fun at all, in any way, shape, or form. It's going to be huge burst. Andrix going in full blaster damage onto Leo, trying to see if he can scatter the undeads all over the place. Needs to bring a shovel to start burying these things back down into the ground. Leo, however, summoning up more homies to fight to the bitter end. The Feral Druid, the Savage Cat. The deadly reflexes of the Apex Predator help him survive through all of it. Absolutely massive. Massive. I use the Coltiran form. Oh yeah, dude, Coltiran form for druids, I find the sickest thing in the world. They're like witch, Drustvar, not even animal. Even the Boomkin form is like kind of intense, kind of scary. I love the Coltiran druid forms. They're so good. They're so good. Coltiran ratios are not amazing, but the Coltiran druid forms are so good looking, man. They're great. They're awesome. Stun out onto Artman immediately as Antics going in for a bit of damage, knocking it back right after, trying to see if he can back up out of this. Shield advantage for Artman, but the bleeds are still rolling right through him, not feeling that great. Trying to see if he can go for Blessing, is saying Antics does go for adaptation to break out of the Hodge. This man is set up to fight against Paladinos, man. That is hilarious. Then again, there is two Paladins on the other team, Artman and Bayek, so that's pretty good for that. Plus, I guess also for Handy, that also works out. For Drudy, maybe on Bash, that might break him out. So it's like not the worst move, honestly. Adaptation used to be such a big noob trap of a trinket. But like when a good player utilizes those trinkets and has a choice, oh, is it good? Oh, is it good? Artman does go for a Blessing of Protection, which unfortunately is going to allow the Cyclone to still connect. I think the Blessing of Protection was the right move because you could shed the bleeds from the Feral Druid. But still, yes, a good Feral will go for the Roots and Cyclone immediately as soon as he sees it. That's exactly what Andrix did. Artman's health is still under a bit of danger. He's taking bites after bites, going for as much self-healing as possible. He does play into Dawn Light, so it's an opportunity for him to do damage to the Feral, but he's having to use some of those Dawn Light procs to heal himself instead, which is incredibly unfortunate. Shield of Vengeance is in play. Andrix trying to see if he can keep the pressure rolling and stun onto Artman. Is it going to be enough? Maim to follow, blasting down him with a bit of damage. Andrix is in a decent spot. Lay on hands out for Artman. Helmet to go through quite a lot of those buttons for his forbearance into a rebuke. He does nuke the rebuke. The Feral Druid free casted it, stopped it, cast it again. That is so good. And Artman trying to see if he can get himself some sort of a setup. Got himself the crab, and it's going to be a full stun right after. For Artman, he's in an okay spot, but he may be looking for a bubble. Wait, never mind. He might not be okay spot. Never mind. I underestimated the bleed the Feral was putting up. Those things were actually starting to feel pretty rough. And Artman choosing to go for a bubble while high on health. That's actually not a bad move, because at least then you might be able to get some stabilization, and at least you might be able to, if you do get taken down below 1 health, you will be able to at least go for Wake of Ashes and try to stabilize. So I think that move is actually the correct one. Does go for Blessing a Saint. I don't know if the Feral went for a stun. If it was the shortest stun in the world. There goes a stun into a full main, most likely. Bites a back-to-back. He does have a lot more bleeds coming back up. Artman is going to go for Wake of Ashes, but does he go? He does go for some of it for healing. Maim to follow. At least he's got some health recovery. Yet more health recovery. So he's looking for a full recovery. And Andrix is now starting to take a decent bit of damage. He is going to go for a health of his own. Every time Andrix bites, he does get himself a regrowth, which is going to give him more instant cast healing. Artman tried to see if he can catch up to him as best as possible. Andrix tried to see if he can back himself out of there, not letting the Feral catch an easy re-stealth. Artman is in a precarious position. Will be able to break out of the next stun with a trinket, but the question is, will he be able to do much? Hodge immediately adaptation forcing its way through, and Artman left with no health whatsoever. Paladin was left with nothing at the end, literally bled dry. Who's up next? Is it going to be Handy? He's getting some soul bolts for the boys. Is it Bayek? It's one of those guys. One of you gotta go, right? It is going to be Handy by the looks of things. It is going to be up next with Andrix already prowling around right around the corner, trying to see if he can get himself in a bit of a better situation here. Man, this Feral Druid so far has been able to run a muck. Unfortunately, the Succubus will not be able to stop the Feral. He cannot go for Succubus CC while Andrix is in the beast form. That does give him that unique immunity. The bear form, cat form, travel form, only when he's in humanoid form where he can go for Succubus CC, which can still work. It can still work. If you get the Feral to the point where he needs to go behind the pillar and has to regrowth, you can use a Succubus CC for it. Handy, getting a couple of procs back to back. Mortal Coil to follow. Got himself a Dark Harvest on top of it. Is going to be some more damage out of Andrix with the card. Oh my. Handy's out of a wall, out of a trinket. I'm not really sure what he walled. Oh my god. I choked up there for a second. I was kind of surprised. I think I breathed in the wrong pipe. And yeah, that was that one by quick. I hate this game. It's Feral Druid, so I honestly was surprised by how much burst Andrix got there. Out of left field and by before he can even go over there, before he can even make a move, instantly gets hit with the root. And Andrix looking to avoid him. Adapt immediately breaks. That's going to be Andrix. As long as he can go for some kind of CC, easy CC onto Bayek. Adaptation broke to the roar? Wait a second. Andrix, if you got a full maim, adaptation just broke to the roar. That is, I did not expect it. I don't know if Andrix expected it either. Bayek with the Blessing of Saint. Wall out for Andrix because you can't go anywhere. Blind to follow up. 10 seconds on Bayek's next Hodge. Andrix will not have an answer for that one. Does get a restun onto the Paladin and is going to go for a Cyclone. Just try to see if he can escape. Look at that regrowth healing here. 1, 2, 3, and he's basically back up. He's full 4 just to make sure he's stopped off. That last one is just to burn mana. This last one is just for the sake of, you know what? I do it because I can. Man, you didn't find a main to get some experience in playing. I blame the class, but it's just bad in general. I think the playing one and committing to one class just to get as much experience on it, I think you do have a right mindset on it. I think that could definitely help because you could just play like the most on-meta, worst class in the game, but you can still do a number of crazy things if you just, you know, to spend just enough time on it. Bayek trying to see if he can escape away from, or Andrix trying to see if he can escape from Bayek. Is going to go for the Cyclone. Adaptation is going to proc. Andrix also has adaptation of his own. So Bayek not be able to lock him down. But Andrix, look at that. 1 regrowth, 2. Letting himself a little bit of healing. Looking for a re-stealth. Is going to give himself a prowl stun. He does get the rake, but he didn't have enough range. I think his rake has a little bit more of like distance to it. Has a better range to it. I think by 3 yards to make it easy for Feral to actually land those stuns. Because previously they had to do that leap into the, not a rake, it was like a prowl stun. I forget what's it called, but it had the eyes of like a cat. It used to be a separate ability. But yeah, you had to do that leap, and then you had to get up close to melee, then use that stun, and then you follow up. It was a weird combo. You really had to do it in a very specific way. Bayek does go for massive movement here with a lot of healing. Is going to be able to recover. Andrew's taking a ton of health and damage. Barskin Bear Form isn't enough. Shield is up and available. Needs to get whatever healing he can. Leap it away. Got him some maybe regrowth. He needs to stand still. He needs to stop for regrowth, I think. He needs to. He cannot escape this paladin. Regrowth, yeah, but both of them stop. And then the regrowths are doing a bit more healing than those flash of lights. Unfortunately. And Root, as soon as Bayek sticks around the corner, Andrix doing everything he can to recover here. First aid for Bayek. I think he's actually using first aid from a wrong expansion, unfortunately. I think that is the War Within first aid, not the Midnight one. Has a slightly different icon. Unless he's like using a professional first aid, I think there's no more. Is professional first aid still in the game? Because I know there's bandages you can just buy. Maybe he's using first aid the profession, like the secondary profession. Or is that even still a thing in the game? I don't even know if that is anymore. To be honest, shield defense up for Bayek. Is it going to be enough? Got himself a bit of that Wake of Ashes. With a little bit of that self-heal. He's going to just use Wake of Ashes just to recover. Andrix does have adaptation. So does Bayek. It's really going to come down to the wire. Andrix, the Feral Druid, I think can probably take it, but it's not going to be easy. Rooted Bayek out in the open. Still lands a prowl, even though Judgment does connect. Interrupt him on Holy, which is going to give him an opportunity to at least have a go. Hodge immediately breaks it to adaptation. Stun. Bayek cannot adapt this one. It's going to be a bubble. It's going to be a bubble. Bubble as soon as his health gets incredibly low, and then just try to see if he can escape it. Bayek, Wake of Ashes, looking for a self-heal. He's just gonna hang out by the eye, I think. He's just gonna hang out to make sure he can deny the Feral a re-stealth. Yep. Sees him, denies him. Cyclone? He's just gonna try to see if he can escape it. Andrix also gonna go for that full re-heal as well. He was doing A-okay. Bayek was able to recover. Adapt still in play, but if Andrix goes in for the prowl, yep. Rake into a maim right after, he's not going to be able to break out of those stuns. Into a re-stun with another rake off of that re-stealth from Incarnation. Barskin used in order to try to live this damage. Bayek, do you live this? Cyclone is going to get adapted. That's at least going to get adapted. Maybe that's what Andrew's trying to do, get adaptation out of him to go finish him off after. Maybe that's part of the plan here. Maybe it's all part of the plan. He's going to go for a wall, blind to follow. That wall is going to make sure Andrix is secure. Cannot hodge him. He can't hodge this Feral for the next go. He just will not be able to hit it. Adaptation is going to kick in. Bayek needs another go. He needs another heal. Oh, it's over. It's over. Picked up just enough stun, just enough damage. It's over. Druid is the last one left over for the team too. Can he stop the rampage of this Feral Druid? Warlock is the hardest caster in the game. You should stay away from it. You could not go for try hard. Rick, would you say Affliction Warlock is easier? I feel like Affliction was probably a bit easier to pick up, right? Just dots. Of course, it's still a lot of casting, it's still a lot of setup, but like you can at least put up dots on things, right? Mostly insta cast. And you can try to see if you can survive that go by Drudy. I was not even worried about Feral dying there. You know what? That's why I decided to answer Rick's question. I was not even worried. Drudy, try to see if you can finish him up. Andrix is the Barskin. It's his last bastion of defense. Whatever regrowth you can get though is going to be helpful. Cyclone, just so you can stay on regrowth in front of him. 2, 3 regrowths. Another clone. 4 regrowths, maybe 5. Oh my god, look at that recovery into Aurora right after with the friends and regen to follow. Andrew's recovered a ton of health. Does Drudy have enough? He's still getting Incarnation, so I think this is where Drudy just needs to send everything. More of those 5, 6 regrowths enough. Andrew's trying to see if he can escape it as best as possible. Call of Duty needs to send the Star Surges at him whenever he got every global. Andrew's looking for the recovery. He's still got mana. He's still got mana. And he's still recovering. This is incredible. Feral Druid self-healing is actually just on a whole other scale. 62% healing reduction, and this man is still recovering. He does get himself a re-stealth. Drudy in bear form, knocking him out. Maim to follow. Drudy cannot escape it. Full bleeds are up for Andrix, and I think Andrix could back away. Bash does not get broken by adaptation, but I don't think it matters. Drudy is just dead. The bleeds are too much. and does get taken out. That is so much damage, so much healing on a single class. Literally, Feral Druid is a one-man army kind of class, isn't it? One-man army. Maybe the only way to defeat him is to like everybody jump him at once, but man, was that good. Really, really good. Johnny and the special cut, let me know when you guys are ready. We'll send another one in here. That was a lot, huh? That was a lot. Johnny's ready. Rest in Hell. I can check. Yo, if anybody got spots, Rest in Hell wants to play. I'm sure Rick also would like to play as well. Bleeds run, nothing to do. Bleeds, I mean, he has to play around Bleeds, right? Feral's literally built on Bleeds. And I think the devs, like, if they wanted for Feral to not play Bleeds, they would build them like they were in Warlords of Jenner, where they were big bites, but not as much on Bleeds. Like, you could bleed things, and you should bleed them, but, like, the bites were just too much damage. You would just go in and a couple of bites, you could finish somebody off. Pretty sure Warlords of Jenner was mildly bursty of an expansion. I know Feral's was really spooky when they had that Saber form. I don't like that Saber form. I don't know why people enjoyed it. I hated it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it moved. I didn't like the way it fought. I didn't like anything about it. I didn't like it. It just was rotten. Something about that entire expansion was rotten. All right, we're both ready. Both teams are ready. We'll try Black and Cold again. If that doesn't work, we'll go back to the Grand, I guess. There we go. Affliction, very easy. Yeah, there we go. Well, I'm trying every class every week for Duels to find my main. I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move. I think getting at least some sort of experience exposure with every class is a good move. Yeah, I like it. Rest in Hell is in, baby. Let's go. First aid is gone. Is just tailoring. Got it. Understood. Can I soul well? Yeah, you could soul well. You could soul well. It's fine. You like most warlocks are probably gonna soul well like on cooldown. Just as soon as they zone in, it's so normal for a warlock to zone into arena and soul well, so it's fine. Yeah, I don't have an issue. Like Rhetoric is gonna use a warrior buff. It's gonna buff up Nespeshka and Adlet. Like there's nothing you can do about it. Like everybody's gonna use the class buffs to buff themselves, and it's gonna hit the party. Since you can't control it, you don't like worry about it. The only thing we ask you not to do is like a shaman putting Earth Shield on an ally. Don't do that. Paladin putting a Blessing Sank on an ally. Don't do that, right? Keep them to yourselves. That's about all I ask. Raid buffs and stuff, fine. You can't really control it, so I'm not gonna punish you for it. I think there's no point of that. Which? What's up first? Is it gonna be? Oh, wait a second. It is gonna be Gazette first, off the bat versus Leo. I think these two have a bit of a rematch. Last time though, Leo was a Frost Death Knight. This time he's got his homies up and running. Massive melee damage out for Gazette. They use having to go for a bit of defense. Gazette is gonna need to get a meta as soon as possible. Will he be able to? That is the question. He does have meta. Is it going to be enough? Imprison onto Leo for a second. Does get the Perisher's Wake. Blind is going to stop him, but he's still got a melee damage either way. Big Rush does get himself a huge setup. Leo with an Icebound Fortitude trying to see if he can tank up. Also with the Lichborn as well to give himself a little bit of self-heals. Using everything he can to survive, sacrificing all of his goals in order to recover. It looks like as an Unholy Death Knight, he's able to do a decent bit of recovery. Sigil of Misery is going to connect because the Lichborn was used really early. And Gazette was able to use that Metamorphosis and additional Leech inside of meta together with the Perisher's Wake damage over time in order to catch up a ton of health. New set of armies coming out as Leo tried to keep the pressure rolling as best as he can, but he could only do so much for recovery. Those Reaps and Consumes are still blasting right through him. Another melee combo out for the Demon Hunter. And actually it's going to be Leo backing up out of there. Bit of a death pack, but it's going to just let those pets do damage of his own onto Gazette. That's actually not a bad move. Letting the pets do damage by themselves is probably fine. Just staying away and letting the pets do work, I think that's a good move actually. I think that is a correct move. Letting the Skulker shoots Black Arrow from the side, all that. Just letting the pets do work. It's gonna go for AMS. Blind as Gazette trying to make yet another meta combo work. Dude, those lightsabers look so tiny in a meta Demon Hunter hands, by the way. They look so small. Absolutely tiny. Those should maybe make them like a little larger so that at least they look imposing. But they look like chopsticks more or less, man. In his hands. Big damage go as Leo takes yet another melee hit out from Gazette. Backflipping out of there, keeping his range, but those grips are pulling him back in at the rest of the army of undeads. I think honestly Leo needs to go for Chain of Ice and just let the undeads work. Yet another meta. Does Leo, can he survive this one? Because it's the second meta in such short succession. Yet another Perisher's Wake, big combo. It just needs one more Reap. Demon Hunter counters Death Knight. Looks like quite easily, and Call of Duty is going to get hit with an imprison immediately before he gets himself a proper opener. Does go for the bash either way, is going to get the pets up and running. Gazev fought Judy last time. He definitely needs to make sure to get those metas up and running versus Judy. Even if it is just like attacking the pets and spamming consume on them back to back to back just to get more souls, I think it is the play. Does go for the Void Rate, denying Judy a proper opener is going to be the Void Blade either way. If he can just get some meta combo on him, he might be able to make something happen. Judy taking a decent bit of damage. Gazev does get himself Darkness, going for a little bit of healing. He's going to go for yet another Void Ray just so you can get a little bit more resources versus Judy. Reaps and consumes. Really early bar skin for Judy, but now he won't have an answer. Does Gazev have the mobility because he needs to catch up to him? Void Blade into a big hunt. Does connect with the Predator's Wake. Massive burst combo. Judy has nowhere to escape. Unfortunately, he doesn't go behind the pillar. Cyclone, try to go for kick it. Does not kick it, but he's too low to health to even do anything. Judy might just die to the dots if there's any dot on him. Unless Gazev, oh, he doesn't have mobility. Does go for a shift. Reap, consume, bash, trinkets it. Sigil and Misery does not connect with Sigil, but he just sees a little bit of damage. Does go for Predator's Wake, big melee damage. He sees one more hit and does take him out. Well done by the Demon Hunter. Handy is up next versus the D8. Does go for AoE Fury, hitting him with a bit of that Chaos Bolts. Bit of that action. I'm surprised he doesn't have the Overlord jumping in immediately there. But he does have Overfiend at the very least, so that's good. At least he got himself one of those, so that's nice. Is going to be more of Infernals dropping in. Gazev is just going to go for an Imprism. Try to see if he can get himself a bit of that reset. Gateway is up for Handy, so he can at least close in or get out in case he needs to. Does go for an intro. Bolt connects. Overlord does jump in. There we go. So actually for Handy, his pets are working. That is a wall out for Handy, together with a bunch of defenses at the same time. Gazev going in for melee combo, backflipping around as much as he can. I think try to see if he can avoid any AoE Fear or Mortal Coil. He might be able to. No, Mortal Coil does connect. Handy does take a decent bit of damage, but he's out of defenses completely. Question is, does Gazev have any more melee combos set up anymore? If he goes for a bit of damage, I think Handy might just die here. Reap, but the Succubus catches him last second on the leash. And for Handy, he's got mobility, but he doesn't have much to really work with here. It's going to be just a few more instas. Yeah, the Reap unfortunately does take him. Gazev taking out 3. Is that what happened just now? Is it just Gazev on the roll here? Because he took out a Boomkin, Warlock, and Death Knight, right? He's got to fight two Paladins because those are the only ones left, man. It's either going to be Artman or Bayek, and Bayek is up next. Will Gazev have enough here? Because he is kind of limited on his utility a little. Bayek does not go for an aggressive Hodge. He actually waits it out. I think he knows the Demon Hunters are going to go fly in the air doing somersaults, so he's just going to wait until he comes down from the ground, and then he's going to attack him. Gazev trying to see if he can charge in a melee. Does have a blur. We'll need to use it. Also going in for a bit of self-heal. Void Ray is in play as well. Stun to follow on to Bayek. With the meta available, maybe Gazev can make something happen. He does go for an Imprison to make sure that he can't go anywhere. Blind breaks it though somehow. That's going to be big damage yet again for the Demon Hunter. Isn't enough. Bayek is going to take a lot of damage. He's going to have to go for a lot of self-heals. Immunity to somatic damage does go through. Gazev caught up a lot of healing. Does go for a meld. Into a shift. Bayek, oh, he was close enough. He could have interrupted him on that holy, actually. He could have interrupted him just there. Does Gazev have the melee? He does. Actually, oh. I was thinking maybe he would have gotten the melee combo when he went for a trinket while meta is active, but no. Doesn't look like he had it. Bayek does go for a flash of light. Gazev tried to see if he could CC him. Unfortunately, Sigil and Misery is not going to connect. And Bayek caught up all that health back really quickly. Gazev trying to see if he can maybe get some damage in order to start puncturing through the health little by little. Gazev will need to have an answer for the next Hodge. He can maybe backflip it. That's about all he can do right now, though. Maybe he can backflip it. That's about all, though. Unfortunately. Into a pre-blur? No, didn't even blur. So Gazev is definitely going to use cooldowns here immediately. He does go for a shield. That's going to help. It got himself a bit of healing, too, so it's going to be nice for him. He's able to at least stabilize a little. Bayek does have adaptation, so I wonder if you force it with an Imprison or Sigil of Misery, because I'm pretty sure next stun is going to proc it, right? Maybe? I actually don't know. I don't see a lot of Demon Hunter versus Paladin games. Those are the two classes that don't really interact with each other for duels. It'll also be interesting to note. Imprison does not break adaptation. Noted. The Hunt is going to connect. Hodge, unfortunately, for Bayek immediately before Gazev can really ramp up. That is at least the big combo either way. Gazev is going to catch up a little bit of healing. Void Blade to try to see if he can hit Bayek, but the Shield of Vengeance is going to be used in order to stabilize there. And Gazev, I think he has a meta. And that's what Bayek is just avoiding him as best as possible. Just letting the dot damage do it. Adaptation does not proc from a stun. And Bayek, I don't know if he has a blind. Never mind. I didn't know if he would. I was going to say, he doesn't have a stun for that one. Gazef having to use the melee skills in order to get some movement shift, but unfortunately does not get close enough to Bayek. Hodge right after Gazef, maybe? I was thinking pre-blur, but he didn't have pre-blur. He's going to back up out of there, blur with a bit of heal. Bayek is just going to play the dot gameplay, isn't he? He's just going to go for that long range gameplay. Let the dawn light do work. Gazef, I think, is going to have to shift in order to get Bayek away from that pillar. If he can do that, he might be able to make something happen. Potentially. Imprison. He definitely needs to put Bayek out in the open. He definitely needs to put him way out there. Stun in 4 seconds for Bayek. Gazef needs to have a backflip available for it. Eventual retreat. If he has it, he might be able to make some work. Trinket is available. Stun onto Bayek. He does get himself Shield of Vengeance. If he can pull the Paladin away from the pillar, he might be okay. Yeah, look at Bayek. He's going to go for the dots. And I think he's just going to go behind the pillar. No, now he actually has Gazef in a good spot. He might just be able to reach him. Yeah, he's going to be able to take him. I think Bayek is looking to play this game really safe. Especially as dampening getting super high up. He's going to go for a Wake of Ashes. And just going to go for the dot damage. And then walk away to try to see if he can sit at a distance. He's going to get speared by the Warrior Rhetoric. So he can't go anywhere. So he has to fight him. Maybe looking for potentially a bubble here. He doesn't have a Spell Warden anymore. Lay on Hands, I think, also still available, maybe? I don't remember. But Rhetoric is trying to see if he can stay on him. Going for the stomps, but Bayek got himself plenty of mobility. Or does he? I was thinking it was a Hand of Freedom, but it looks like Rhetoric stomps are just not even reaching Bayek, so you can't even get a proper slow on him. Consecration is also not helping either, because that is going to give Bayek removal of slows, but also put a slow into Rhetoric, so it doesn't feel great either. And Bayek is just melting Rhetoric from behind the pillar. He hasn't really been fighting this Warrior at all. So the Warrior is the only one that's really needs to catch up to Bayek. But as long as Bayek stays away, second wind is going to start to kick in. So he's got to go in just enough for second wind to deny it. That's about all he can do. Rhetoric may have to go for big defenses here. He's not in a great spot. Does go for Rallying Cry, or Commanding Shout rather. Is this enough though? Does go for a stun. Shield of Vengeance is available for Bayek. Rhetoric may need to go defenses. Got a defensive stance, a bit of shield. There goes Rage Regeneration. He's using it to try to stabilize as best as possible with a bit of Reflect. Bayek is actually starting to take a decent bit of damage actually. Hold on a second. One more execute. Bayek could be dead. Does go for Lay on Hands as Rhetoric leaps right on top of him. Rhetoric does not have much health to work with. I think it's going to end up proccing his Sheet Death though. I don't know. Rhetoric has Avatar. He has Recklessness. His health is still kind of hanging in barely. But I think there, Sheet Death did proc. Unless he barely has any health. Unless it was just that. Bayek trying to see if he can run away. I think it's just going to be a matter of time. Yeah, before the spear even connected, before it even hit the ground, unfortunately, Rhetoric does go. That's a rough one. That's not an easy duel. Bayek is playing this one super conservatively. Like, against the Warrior, I guess it makes sense because the Warrior can't really heal. So as long as you have a Dawnlight rolling on him at all times, there's not much you can do. Stun and Rusted Health, choosing not to Trinket. Bayek trying to see if he can make some damage happen. And he's trying to see if he can go for that Kite in one strat. Let the Dows do work, Shield of Vengeance just to stabilize. Adaptation does it a proc versus Restant Hell's Chaos Nova. So it looks like Chaos Nova from Restant Hell does actually drop a adaptation, but the Devourer Chaos Nova, Void Nova, doesn't do it. It's interesting. Is it just duration and stun, like a stun duration difference? One is 4 seconds, maybe one is 5 seconds. So maybe the caster has a shorter duration. Yet another stun is available for Bayek. Wake of Ashes is back up. Is he going to go for a self-heal? He's still got a bubble in case he really needs to. It looks like he's going to go for a little bit of self-heal. But Restant Hell is looking very healthy right now. Here for a second onto Bayek. But Bayek does break out of this with a Blessing of Spell Warden. So he's looking A-okay for the time being. He does still have a bubble in case he needs it. Restant Hell lining up for a potential big damage combo. There goes the full meta, but unfortunately Bayek breaks out of it immediately. To charge, Chaos Nova, no way out of it. Big hunt to follow, Blade Dance, and it's going to be immediate bubble out of Bayek. He knows what to expect out of a Demon Hunter. When he sees the Haunt, the Glaive, the Blade Dance, he knows it's going to be a ton of damage. Does Bayek have no survivability here? I don't think he might though. I think it's going to be another combo, and it just down goes. Restant Hell does take a decent bit of damage, but not enough to take him out completely, with Artman going to be up next. Artman might have Restant Hell low enough to maybe be able to do something. Backflipping out of there, flying up in the air, just going to barrage him with lances. Artman is going to have to play super defensively for the time being, while the Demon Hunter flying back down. He might be able to go around the corner to Hodge him. He needs to land a Hodge for sure. I think that would help him. The Demon Hunter is trying to see if he can avoid it in prison before he gets an opener into an I-beam. Can't really stop it. Wake of Ashes off the Hodge. Maybe Restant Hell can follow up with damage. Stun, but unfortunately he does go down with Atlet Lasso left. Artman might have to go for. I was thinking Bubble, but no, he does get a lay on hands. Blind to follow. It does get himself at least a little bit of mobility to try to escape. But right now he's just fighting his time. I guess dampening. I guess 12-minute match. I guess the full other paladin that has every cooldown, and Artman having to go burn a bubble really early. I don't really know what Artman can do. Maybe he can go for lay on hands if he uses all his Dawn Lights to heal. But that's about all he can do. Maybe he could somehow draw out the game for a little bit longer, where he can use a lay, use a spell warden, and use everything he needs in order to live. Does get a trinket. Lay on hands might need to come in. Lay on hands out for Adlet here. Artman may need to use his own spell warden instead. I feel like maybe Lay on hands might have been a better pick, because he can stabilize, but maybe it will give him just enough of breathing room just until Lay on hands is back up and available. Though Adlet does have in 15 seconds a Hodge, may not even need it. Artman has not a lot of help to work with. Does go for the Hodge himself. Wake of Ashes may need to go full defense. Or try to see if he can just end it. Bubble off for the other guy. Lay on hands, Artman? Does he have lay on hands? He may not even have lay on hands, actually. I'm not sure. No, I think he just might not have lay on hands. Yeah. Never mind. For some reason, I assumed he would. Gazev does pick up 3. Well done. Well done. Devour is really good, huh? I guess in Paladino, he did run into a bit of a kink where the dot damage he's taken is a lot. So it's like, can't really do much against that, can he? Alrighty. Let's see if we can get us another one going, boys, yeah? Uno más, uno más. Midnight, duels. It's by midnight. 475. Oh, what that? GG's, Judy. GG's, friend. Alrighty. This is ready. Let's see if Johnny's ready. How many more games are we doing, actually? Because with Krager, normally we'd be going back-to-back a bunch of games, but we could actually call it a little earlier today, couldn't we? I'm only eating breakfast, so it's about that time for me to eat dinner, more or less. I guess we're grouping. We'll see. We'll see. I'll let Johnny let me know in just a second here. I mean, that's a Mog, I guess. I guess that's a Mog. That is a set for sure. You know, I don't think I've ever used any of the. Actually, no. I was gonna say I don't think I've ever used any of the Silver Moon Eversong sets, but I do. I use them on my rogue. Partially, I use one partially part of a set on the rogue. Now, the Eternal Tank summons a bats. The deal increased damage and healing looks kind of cool. Are they like pet bats that actually appear and bite? So is it kind of like a blood DK, like the bloodworms? Or is it like an AoE swarm of bats, like a cone of like a frozen orb, but essentially instead of frost, it's just bats? That's sick though, either way. That sounds awesome. Thematically, that sounds really cool. You can go bloodworms on crack. Ah, got it. That's sick. Do bloodworms even have a health bar, or are they like one of those untargetable pets? I do wonder. Because I know on Holy Death Knight pets, for example. Oh, I guess like the only best pets that I can think of that have the same mechanic is the soul, the demonic soul, because that's technically like a pet. It just doesn't have like a targetable health bar. But it is an actual NPC. At some point I think you could target them, but it was not intended mechanic for it. Untargetable, they'll lose their own HP. Oh, cool. So wait, they lose their HP as they do damage? Ah, okay. Interesting. It sounds like bloodworms, but the losing HP part sounds almost like imps for demonology. You know how like when they shoot, they're spending energy for every firebolt, and when they're out, they're gone? Sounds kind of like that, in a way. Like when you don't think about it, when you don't use your noodle, when you don't even use your brain, it sounds like that, doesn't it? Literally just energy bar pretty much. That's cool. That's awesome. I'm like 90% sure they use the code for the first iteration of wild imps. 90% sure they use that code for the first iteration of wild imps. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that, because then, oh, no special is ready. Beautiful. We've done most games, so I guess we did win a grand again. Because I could see it kind of working, right? You just use an ability that someone's imps, right? You use that code. You turn off their ability for those pets. You change the model. You turn off their health bar so they can't be targeted. And then you would... Oh, wait, we're not ready. Oh, you need one more? Last one? Oh, okay. We need one more for the team Johnny. So if you guys do want to join or invite a friend, John is looking for one more. Welcome to join. Find them under Molten Core. But yeah, basically you would like turn off their range attack and give a melee attack. Or you would switch out their casted attack from range into a melee one, and you would give them the AI of you want to get close, and then use that ability. And then basically use that same resource for that ability, in a sense. Or I guess you could just make bloodworms, right? And then just change them. Because bloodworms will bite a certain amount of time before they fade. Or do bloodworms just like stick around for a while auto-attacking? I don't remember. I feel like nobody uses... I don't remember last time anybody's used bloodworms. Out of all the different abilities out there, it is not a talent that a lot of people use. Is that even a talent anymore? I mean, at Midnight, I know they cut a bunch of tools out of the game, but... No, bloodworms are still in play. I wouldn't be surprised if they removed them. Auto attacks have a chance to summon a bloodworm. Bloodworms deal minor damage to your target for 15 seconds and then burst, healing 50% of miss and health. Draw below 50% health, the bloodworms will immediately burst and heal them. Yeah, they were thinking they were gonna be able to play into a big blood worm build with those autos, didn't they? They really thought, dude. They really thought. Wait, the burst for 15% of your miss and health? That would have been a huge heal, though, actually. Wait, that would have been a nuts heal. Wait, if they gave him a shield instead of a burst heal to heal your health, that would be sick. If it was a shield, that would be so much better. That actually could have worked then, right? A bloodworm auto attack build, although auto attacks are not that interesting. But I guess you would play Deathbringer. You would stack up Dark Talons. I guess that's what you would end up doing, but that would be kind of boring at the same time. I was thinking, like, why not make bloodworms and ONYXIA? Like, you summon bloodworms. That'd be cool. I think off GCD, you summon a bloodworm, and you could just use them either for a basically as a pre-heal, right? You're gonna be going into a big pack, 3 bloodworms. You're gonna be taking a big hit from a boss. You summon 1 bloodworm in case you get super low in health. It'll immediately heal you. I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, but making it auto attack, I actually would make it personally. If I was Blizz, I would make that when they pop, it's a shield, not a heal. So then it can be used as like a safety net, and you just get impassively over time. Maybe make it so that every 5-6 auto attacks you summon a bloodworm, so there's less RNG. So you can just sometimes like just auto attack a bunch of them, but like making sure you get a consistent use of them. Like an ONYXIA summon, and when it turns into a second ability where you get to explode them all, heal shield. Oh, I guess that could also work too. Yeah, like you summon them as a prep. But I feel like if you did that as an ability, you could also make it even more usable, because having an ability where you use it and you have to press a button twice in order to get a value out of it is a little silly. I would at that point just use it as an immediate heal that summons bloodworms. At that point, you're basically just using that heal popping immediately, and you just get some pets. But then again, like, why would you want bloodworms then? At that point, maybe you could just throw them into like immediate heal that is shadow damage. So then it no longer needs this auto attack and a pet AI. It just does immediate damage. Almost like a blood drain, so to say. And then you can make it thematically, you just drain health from your enemies to immediately heal yourself. Give it like a cooldown of a minute or so, and it could be like a big heal. Because people really don't want rune tab back. Oh, actually though, you are right. Maybe they could basically make it like a different type of rune tap. Maybe make it so that it draws the health from enemies, it does shadow damage, heals you based on damage, and gives you DR. Minute cooldown. give it 2 charges. So it's not something you use regularly, or maybe just a minute with no charges. So it's not something you use regularly, but for like a bad moment. Uh-oh, heal. But then you could make it a passive, right? Passive, 2 charges. When you get low in health, you proc it. And you're basically just like, okay, how many charges of it do I have? Because you can make it even more playable. You can make it even better. You can make it easier to use and more convenient too. You know what I mean? I feel like the design is heading into a direction of everything becoming more convenient, easier to use, and I feel like that ability is another, like the ability to design also kind of matches that as well. Maybe that's where my brain keeps going to. Ready? Beautiful. We'll send it. The Grand. Might be the last one for the night, boys. Might be the last match. I'll see how I feel after this one. Purely because I don't want, yeah. I mean, Root Tap I thought was a cool ability, but I did think Death Knight did have a lot of like defensives, right? You have Dance and Rune Weapon, which is a defensive. Vampiric Blood, which is a defensive. IBF, which is a defensive. Ledgeborn with a 50% DR is a defensive. AMS, which is a defensive. And then you get Rune Tap. Like at this point, I feel like, why does this spec have so many defenses? What the hell is the point of like healing yourself? Like the healing mechanic, I feel like needs to be better refined. There's something needs to be done to make it a little better. Just something. I don't really know what exactly, but something. You know? Which. We got ourselves Bayek over the team too. Alright, there goes a Paladin. We got an Evoker! Olanius. Did Olanius play last time? I don't remember. Maybe. We got Leo back on this shit, Mansky. We got Radimus in this team, as well as Handy. Versus we got Adlet over for the team 1. We got ourselves Nestorska leading the team with Brechik on that side. Gazef and the Demon Hunter Rest in Hell. Who's going to be first up? Versus Handy as an Affliction Warlock. You have your pet? Oh, you do have a pet. Good. Good. Definitely needs to go for that second BCC whenever possible, but he's going to be able to see second BCC on that Haunt. Unfortunately, Haunt did not actually start its cooldown, so he still has access to it. He just started it, but didn't quite connect. Handy is able to at least go for some dots. He's going to go for a port, trying to see if he can give himself some range. Rest and Hell blinks literally next to Handy out of left field. Is going to go for a bit of damage. Gateway right after. Got himself a couple of procs to follow. Random procs of what looks like bullets are just flying out. Handy may need to use mobility. Trinketed? I'm not really sure what. Was it a stun? It might have been a stun. Did it die? Where'd he go? Oh, I thought you for a second. I literally lost him for a second. I thought he might have died, but no, now he's actually dead. With the rest of the hell backflipping out of there. Whoever is going to be up next. Oh, Lanius is up next. Last time we did see an Evoker actually defeat a Demon Hunter. Was not easy. Definitely was one of the toughest matchups of his life. Was it Olanius that did it? It may have been, but I'm not 100%. Big run down and just trying to see if he can blast him out. Got himself a bit of that blast damage from the Disintegrate. It's going to be a blur for Rest in Hell as he's got him some movement. Rest in Hell started taking a decent bit of damage. It is going to end up time looping him in just a second while he's still low on health. So Rest in Hell caught up with that healing he could, and he's just gone. Hold on, Olanius might just be able to win this. He's got a wall, so you could be hard to interrupt him. Fire Breath is huge into a sleep. He does ignore it. Hold on, wall might be available for Olanius. He does have a bit of heal. Got movement while casting still for just a second longer. He got a little bit more of it. Is it going to be enough though? Demon Hunter with full metamorphosis is going to catch up a lot of healing. Olanius needs to find a way to stop him. Root is going to be helpful, but doesn't quite get him out of there just yet. He does have it in prison. Does he have it though? Does he have it? The Evoker dude is left with not a lot of defenses to work with. I feel like he's going to get cut down here. Big deep breath to try to see if he can escape, but the Demon Hunter does backflip out of it with Vengeful Retreat. And might, I don't know if you're going to have any healing here. He does go for another deep breath. It is still not enough to stun him. Elenia's trying to see if he can keep himself afloat here as best as possible. He's got movement while casting. Try to see if he can just stop. Rest in Hell is going to be able to port him back, I think. Yeah, he is able to port him. Is able to port him. But he does end up taking him out, unfortunately. Radimus charging in next. Just discard DM again. Look what they rolled. They rolled what? What in the world? Everybody on that team rolled. The way we get our order, everybody we do it by roll, like slash roll. So this is the rolls. Bayek with 94. Olanius with a 97. Handy with a 98. Radimus with a 96. Leo with 27. What in the world? Johnny, please don't gamble, Johnny. Don't grab the lotto ticket today, man. Not this week, not next week, not this month. Just hold. 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 That is wild. and 98, 97, 96, and 92. How did they all get in the 90s? Yeah. That's insanely funny. Thank you for that screenshot. That is so worth. I'll try to see if I can remember, like if this clip makes it on YouTube, I'll try to see if I can add it. That is hilarious. Radimus does survive. Lay on Hands was used, still got Spell Warden and Bubble in case he needs it. Rest in Hell, playing with adaptation, so he doesn't need to worry about a trinket. At least against the Paladinos. And it's only 2 Paladins and Leo left on the other team. Rest in Hell, try to see if he can maybe get himself some kind of a big go. He does need to kind of use these glide ability a little more carefully to get around these pillars, because otherwise these pillars are a little bit in his way. Try to see if he can maybe cut down Radimus. He's going to be able to. Big blade dance to follow, backflipping out of there. You can actually almost immune the stuns too if he backflips at the right time, although he doesn't really need to because he does have adaptation. Flying in the air, Radimus learned his lesson last time he faced up against Rest in Hell. He just 2 glances back to back. He knows to go behind the pillar. He cannot survive it. Just face tanking all that damage. As Radimus trying to get some damage going. Still Hodge is available. He's trying to be very careful. Hodge dodged by Rest in Hell. What a perfect time. Eventual retreat. Blind, unfortunately, will not break to the ability. So adaptation is still holding on strong. Stun onto Radimus. Maybe looking for a bubble here. Might just have to. Rest in Hell is just recovering as many soul fragments, and Radimus literally left with no mana. Hand of Freedoms, just so you can get out of it, is the only thing the man can do right now. Just sprinting as fast as they can. Hodge in 4 seconds, so maybe you can wait until Hodge is available. Bubble does get used, and Rest in Hell knows to back up out of there. Although even if you Hodge now, like, he's going to have adaptation for it. So Rest in Hell just needs to send a Hodge at some point, just knowing that he's not going to be able to land it. Actually, he probably should have stood out there, especially if Rest in Hell was going to go for the hunt. If Radimus stood out and just Hodged him on that hunt, he would have disrupted it. Still, yep, there goes the hunt. Radimus is going to take the full melee combo, and Rest in Hell does take him. Next Paladina is right afterwards. Yeah, I was thinking for a second, like, who's going to be next? But honestly, I kind of spoiled it, didn't I? I already spoiled that Leo is literally going dead last with a solid roll of 27 in the sea of 90s. With Bayek, though, he's got himself adaptation, procking really early. Rest in Hell will have adaptation in 30 seconds. That Bayek, though, he's going to be able to get at least one more Hodge in between of it. Blind does get used. Try to see if he can buy himself time until the Hodge is back up. Rest in Hell is going to have to be very careful here. There goes the Hodge. He does get meta, but unfortunately won't be able to get any healing on that meta unless he goes for proper metamorphosis. Although Bayek, as you can see, dot and rod. Dot and rod gameplay is what this man is looking to commit to. Rest in Hell using movement skills in order to try to catch up. Does get some small cleaves onto Bayek. Whatever health recovery he can get from him is best. Does go for the stun. No way for Bayek to escape it. And there goes full opportunity for Rest in Hell to get some healing. There goes full meta of magic immunity. Unfortunately, Rest in Hell does not have too many physical damage. Maybe his glaive is the only ability that is pure physical. But everything else, like, it's all magical. I'm pretty sure even his auto attacks are straight up just shadow damage now at this point. He's trying to see if he can get some more damage onto Bayek. More damage onto Blade Dance's Bayek does have a full bubble in case he needs to. Will Bayek have to go for Lay on Hands here? He may need it at some point. He may need it. Bro, actually lost himself on that teleport. Yeah, I lost you too with that Void of Racial, because it's like, it goes places, man. It goes places. I think you aimed it, and then it just went behind everybody. So unless you feel like really conscious and real pay attention to where it's going, it's like, I think you also just put you behind the pillar, huh? Or back in the room as well. Adaptation not available for either one. Both Paladin and the Demon Hunter did end up proccing each other's CC removal, so Bayek is going to have to wait until his is back up and available. Rest in Hell is going to have to be very careful with his cooldowns. He does have better in 40 seconds. Question is he going to be able to survive the next big go by Bayek? He will need to backflip it. He will need to eventually retreat it. And Rest in Hell is going to go for the double eventual retreat to try to see if he can escape and catch up a little bit of health. I think he's trying to see if he can force Bayek away from the pillar, because Bayek is going to be playing that slow, steady game of Wake of Ashes into self-heals. Or into Dawnlight as well. So a bit of Dawnlight, bit of Wake of Ashes, bit of self-heals. Use everything he can in order to survive here. Stun, does he have a big go? He does have Wake of Ashes. He's going to go for the Dalaran Racial actually, so I don't really know what he removes from Rest in Hell. But he does remove something. Rest in Hell with a stun. Bayek, does he bubble it? I don't think he's going to. This is where Metamorphosis is going to be clutch for Rest in Hell. Able to recover a lot of health. Also has a proper Metamorphosis in case he needs to. But Bayek got plenty of mobility, using that Consecration in order to give himself plenty of movement speed. Or at least making sure to remove any slows from Rest in Hell. The adaptations are going to be backup for the both of them, so Resident is going to have to be very, very careful. I think Resident is going to at some point have to discommit a big metamorphosis. He needs to really find a way to get Bayek away from a pillar, but Bayek is making it pretty much impossible for him to do so. Backflipping in case there's going to be a Hodge. No, Hodge comes out. Adaptation does go through it. Resident is going to have to go for a stun of his own as well onto Bayek at some point. Wake of Ashes is in play. Resident needs to stay on top of him to get as much healing as possible, but Bayek is just going to let that Dawn Light do as much damage from a distance. Just gonna try to see if he can stay away. Metamorphosis is in play. Imprisoned for a second. Does go for the Hunt. I don't even know if Resident really wants to go for Chaos Nova. He might just have to use it anyway. He does use it. Getting Bayek super low. Is that going to be a bubble? Bayek is incredibly low in health. Does go for Leonance. He's able to recover. Yet another movement skill by Resident. Catches up on top of Bayek. Backflip for a second. And to try to see if he can maybe... I was thinking it was looking like he was maybe vengeful retreating in case Bayek was going to go behind out of the pillar to go for a Hod, but he's not going for it. Bayek is going to go for most likely health recovery back behind the pillar. Maybe Resident can use a Fell Rush in order to stop him. He is going to have to use something here. I think for Resident partially, waiting is not the best move either, because now he can wait until adaptation to make sure any Hodge from Bayek is not going to stop him at all. Backflipping? Not going to go for a Hodge. Not yet. Double backflip again. In prison, he does have adaptation. He can't stun him. And that's going to be Bayek unable to really do anything about this. And Resident, as long as he can stay on top of Bayek, there's nothing he can do. Hodge doesn't stop him. Bayek, maybe a bubble here. Try to see if he can fight through the damage. Wake of Ashes. That's going to be Citadel Misery pre-plays for Resident in case Bayek was going to go for an escape. The Haunt connects. There goes the bubble. And that's where darkness comes down for Resident. Bayek is hoping to maybe somehow find a way to crack through those defenses, but he is unable to. Resident fervently still chasing after the Paladino. Does he have any more move speed? If he has any move speed, that'd be great. Unfortunately, Blind is going to collect 4 seconds until Hodge comes out. Does Resident have a backflip for this? He won't. Unfortunately, he won't. He won't have an answer here. He can maybe imprison, and Bayek knows to keep a distance. Imprison. Hodge is available. He can maybe Chaos Nova too. Resident maybe can meld. Or he knows there's going to be... Yeah, he knows there's going to be a Hodge. Lances are doing work. Lances are doing work, though. Bayek having to go for self-heals, but he was able to push the Paladin back. That's enough time for you to buy that adaptation and metamorphosis back. So Resident may have the answer. Bayek without a bubble might be in trouble. No Spell Warden, backflipping really early. Dodge the Hodge, which is huge. The Resident patching up a lot of more healing with double I-beam. Will meta, trick it out for Bayek with adaptation proc and Hunt for Resident. Enough damage, I think he does take it. Oh, wait, no, he's still not in last one. I forgot Leo's still in play. Oh, yeah, forgot Leo. Yeah, Leo's a character. And Leo does slam him down. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be back-to-back zaps out for Leo with Gazev zap. Oh, my God. The wind strikes are absolutely melting the boy. Let's go for a melt for a second in prison. Try to see if we can get some damage, but it's going to be a minute trinket. Does Leo have enough damage? Oh, my God. It's like the Monotos don't get hit by dampening. I mean, they definitely do, but they have a lot of healing. It's the metamorphosis. It's the meta. Yeah. I think it's because, oh my God, Leo. That is a lot of damage by Demon Hunter. 4. He did a lot of damage, though. Almost 13 million. Yeah, I think it's because of Dawnlight. Dawnlight, like when he stacks a Dawnlight, it doesn't do more damage. It just extends the duration of that dot, right? So at all times, the Demon Hunter is taking constant damage from Dawnlight. He doesn't take more damage from Dawnlight when you stack it. It's just constant. You're just extending it, right? But he has just enough heals to fight it and then have a bit more to heal past it. He can recover. Metamorphosis and Hunt together, that is just a lot of damage all at once condensed. Plus, if you have like Blur on top of it, it helps dampen it. It's just a combo. It's just an incredibly good combo. Crazy. Crazy. Alrighty, boys. I think with that one, we'll call it. It is getting real hot in my room. It is getting mighty warm. But we had some mighty good games today. It's crazy good, man. Crazy good. Thank you all so much for coming by, man. I appreciate you boys for popping in here. That's awesome. That is really, really, really good. I enjoyed the games that we had tonight, man. Had a lot of fun with it. You guys have a wonderful evening, though. I am going to go get myself probably something to eat. It is about that time for me to get some chow. I probably should get some work done, too. Yeah, I should get some work done. I really want to sit down and just keep reading my book. That's all I want to do. The Revenge of Leo GG. Curdy, how you doing, by the way? Hope you're having a good one. Wait, were you playing as anyone with character security? Were you as somebody here? Well, next time I'll level someone for next week. Time to level. What are you planning on? Is it a warrior? I feel like a warrior would go pretty well, huh? I feel like a warrior would be kind of good. Or you could do paladin, right? There's plenty of paladins everywhere. They're good for a very specific reason. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful one. I'll catch all of you in the next one, yeah? Alrighty, boys. Need to finish with Fury. Think of balance. Oh, okay. Worst to worst, you could always gear a Feral as well. Feral is really strong too. I don't think Boomy is easy for PvP by any measure. Like, you can definitely give it a go, but I think it's pretty rough to play. See you next week, maybe? Sounds good, Curdy. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have Krager without any DC issues. A big thanks to Nasmershka, by the way, for leading Krager's group and making... Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you, Nasmershka. I really appreciate you, my man. I really appreciate you. Very kind of you to help out. Can play the game. All good, all good. You know, that was a tough... If you ever were not playing the game, wait until the second season. That would be the best time. Because we got next season, new rewards, cool stuff coming out real soon. That'll be dope. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Alrighty, boys. Alrighty. Peace.